Hello, fellow homebrewers. JP here, and I want to introduce to you the brand new Brew-Built X1 Conical Series available at More Beer. More Beer sells the highest standard in homebrewing equipment, and the Brew-Built Conicals are just that. They're made from mirror-polished 304 stainless steel, and they come with loads of features that you and I have been looking for. They have a full 2-inch bottom dump valve, which will eliminate your clogging issues, while the sturdy base includes 4 reinforced legs, just like those big Pro tanks do. More Beer also carries the Brew-Built line of options and add-ons like casters, pressure kits, and even external glycol chillers. So you can find out more about the new Brew-Built X1 Conical Unitanks by going over to morebeer.com for detailed videos on the entire line of Brew-Built Conicals. You can trust Brew-Built with your next fermentation, and you can trust More Beer to find the right conical for you. Brew-Built at morebeer.com.
Today's Sunday session is brought to you thanks to the fine folks at More Beer. Visit them right now at morebeer.com.
I poured it in my mouth and it just wasn't going down.
My first beer was an IPA, the best IPA I've ever drank, mostly because I brewed it.
If you have a scale that is good for measuring cocaine, you're probably good for measuring hops on cocaine.
You're scaring me.
I think the information is awesome and the audio sucks.
Make some sugary water, throw some yeast in there.
And you're going to drink good beer.
Yeah, it's going to be good. It's fine.
God damn it, man. Oh, my God. Oh, uh-oh.
Now, live from the Brewing Network studios in Northern California, this is the radio program for home brewers, craft brewers, beer lovers, and beer geeks. It's your only source for live beer radio that brings expert brewers together with, well, expert drinkers. This is the radio program with a head on it. This is The Session.
Hey, everybody, good evening.
Good evening.
Here we are. It's The Session. It's another Monday. The Session marks the Monday, the start of the week. And I think maybe that's why people don't like us. Because we remind them that they have to go back to work.
Or that they already were at work for a day.
Right.
So it's only Monday.
Maybe that's why they like us, is because they can come home and listen to us work.
Well, you're assuming people like us.
That's a big assumption.
Yeah.
That's another big... God, you guys are picking me apart. You guys should be psychological people.
I think we should just move it back to Sunday.
Just move it back to Sunday.
You know, the term Sunday session just rolls right up.
Everyone likes an alliteration. Well, when Justin dies...
How do we know he's not? I haven't seen him in a while.
Yeah, good point.
Right.
I talked to him a little bit ago. He's not feeling too well, so I'm covering for him tonight, which is totally fine. I actually really like doing the show, and I like hanging out with everybody. And but when he dies, I'll move it to fucking Saturday. I don't care. I'll move it to whatever you guys want to do. Maybe not Saturday. That's stupid.
No.
Well,
not Friday either.
How about Tuesday? Does the Tuesday session roll off your tongue, dog?
No. I'd do Saturday.
Saturday session?
Yeah. Well, everybody can party with us. We get a lot more drunk calls, right?
How do I do you? Like that?
I guess,
I just want to be perfectly clear that I would not do a Saturday.
Why? What else are you doing?
Anything.
Come on.
Everything.
I'm doing all of the things.
We'll give you Wednesdays off.
We can roll your couch in there and maybe even a TV, and
you can
just like any other Saturday.
It'll be great. Actually, you can probably just call in. Just do the show somehow remotely. We'll set it up. It'll be great.
Yeah.
Hard pass.
Okay, all right. Speaking of hard pass.
Yeah.
Prince.
He gone.
He gone. I was playing the song.
I know me and Tasty are all broken up about it.
Yeah.
You guys are the world's biggest Prince fans, like everybody else seems to be right now?
Yeah, exactly.
This was the first time I got out of bed since Wednesday.
Looks like it.
Right.
Yeah. Purple Rain. Bev was like, are you going to start being a super Prince fan like everybody else? I'm like, no.
No, you don't need to start because you already were.
That's true. I mean, I own a Prince album, and it is called The Very Best of Prince.
Wow, so it's the best album to own.
That's what I feel like. I feel like there's no need to own another Prince album if you have the very best.
Right.
It's the best. Everything else is like the sort of mediocre of Prince.
Right. And that makes you the best fan, also, I think.
Right. It really does.
Yeah.
I think you're right, Warren.
Right.
I hate saying that, but I think you're correct.
And it rolls off the tongue.
It really does.
Yeah.
Warren is correct.
Yeah.
Very easy to say.
Right.
I was watching Blobber on Facebook, which, by the way, if you guys aren't fans of Blobber or friends of Blobber on Facebook, go be his friend, because the guy's a nut bar.
Oh, yeah.
But he's like...
How do you find Blobber on Facebook?
But he's funny and right.
He's in the chat. He'll tell. I don't want to like blow up his like personal page or anything. But he was like, "Oh, all you people who like Prince, you know, I can't. I don't understand it. I tried to listen to one of those songs, the Purple Rain song, and it was awful." And I'm like, "Yeah, but awesome at the same exact time. It's not the best song in the entire universe, but it's 8.5 minutes of guitar solo."
Yeah, I agree with his sentiment of, if you're really going to mourn him on social media and in your life in general, you should at least be able to name 5 songs of his, or 10 songs or whatever, versus the majority of people making us think about it couldn't even do that.
So I thought about that. I read that also, and I was like, I don't know if I can name 10 songs by any artist. But I can. But only Brad Paisley and Queen.
I'm sorry, what were you saying, Bev?
Queen.
You know, I used to agree with him, not just specifically Blobber, but that point of view, where like you should really be a hardcore, like it's the favorite restaurant that closes down, but nobody ever went to it until it was gone, kind of thing.
Oh, I always used to go there.
So, so you can't weep unless you're a true fan.
Yeah, but then I realized, like, even if this was your favorite song, Purple Rain, this is like the only song you've ever heard of Prince, but you had a real good time attached to it, and you never had plans to see him again. It's still someone who created a good memory for you, and so that sucks.
Yeah.
But I see your point, and like I don't know, in social media, I think we kind of like wax poetic over everything, where people go, "I love this." It's an article about separating your trash. You can't love it. It's not that important. So we are using terms very oddly as a society these days from social media, but. I don't know. With Prince, I give people a pass. Who cares? Be sad. You slit your wrist because you can't hear Purple Rain again live. Like, it doesn't matter to me.
But on the upside, if you are using Facebook as a meter, last Wednesday, Prince was the only one who died compared to the 150,000 other people that usually die a day.
Yeah, well,
so that's a win.
Prince didn't get me laid in high school. So, or no, wait, everybody else didn't get me laid in high school. Prince did.
Neither did Prince.
Right, he did?
Let's be honest. Nothing got me laid in high school.
He's not a miracle worker.
I mean, you're looking at it right here, Bev. That's pretty much...
It's not even the roofie?
Oh, that's what you called him?
Barf. You named your hand Prince.
Right, your right hand was Prince.
Yeah. Handprint.
And Duke
said I love you.
Fingerprints.
I'll bring the royal family down on a motherfucker. I don't care. Prince and Duke, baby. Whatever.
Well, I did see a post by Sully. You see that one where he showed the Stones concert from '81.
Yeah. Right, that Prince opened for.
Yeah, in L.A., and I was at it.
You said that, yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, wow. I think I was going to message him. Did you see me there? Not that we even knew each other back then.
It'd be interesting to know the list of how many concerts both you and Sully were at.
Mm-hmm.
And didn't even know.
In L.A., yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
well,
probably a lot.
I feel like neither of you would be hard to miss.
No.
I mean, especially back in your like super party days.
But that was a big concert.
That was a big. But
but
we could have been
a big head, and he actually Doc could double for Prince. That's what you should be now.
I could double for Prince.
You should be a Prince.
Impersonator.
Impersonator, yeah.
But you couldn't see Doc over half the crowd.
Well, that's the whole thing.
It's
is
true. You had to be there.
Oh, yeah.
You know, every time I see Mick and the boys, they look like somebody's shoulder blades. That's all I can see. I'm down there on the floor, and they're in the field.
Yeah,
man, I can't just somebody tall like you in front of me.
Yeah,
every time.
So what do? Do you like try to worm your way to the front, or do you kind of just enjoy the music?
I kind of move around so I can get a view.
Yeah,
a little bit.
Make fun of that big guy.
Make friends with the big guy so I can get on his shoulders, like one of them chicks.
Give him a hand.
Take my top off.
Right? Yeah, you show him your tits.
Have you done that? Have you like had to get on someone's shoulder before?
Oh, it lasted for a little while. It's not the same. You get people behind you booing and shit.
Get down.
Right. If I had awesome tittage, then maybe it'd be fine.
Then in between breaks, you turn around and just give everyone a view, and then go back to the thing. All right, I got you. Well, look, R.I.P. Prince, you oxycodone eating motherfucker. That's too bad. I guess he had a hip problem or something.
Well, that's how it starts.
Well, he was 57.
And he jumped around a lot. I read some article where...
I'm 56.
Start eating pills.
How are your hips?
Yeah.
Actually, not too bad.
Yeah. Not too bad.
You're fine.
Do some stretches. I read that he was so prolific at the guitar, he refused to play the guitar anymore and just focused on playing the piano because he wanted to get better at playing the piano. That's Prince. Better at playing the piano. I don't know. To me, that's pretty incredible.
Well, but I heard that sometimes he didn't tell people that he was only playing piano, and so people would pay $400 or some ridiculous amount for tickets, expecting him to play all of his normal songs the way he normally played them, and then he shows up with a piano. Like, oh.
Yeah, Prince and a piano or whatever it's called. Yeah. Well, that's what happened when he came around last time, but I think he told everybody.
Oh.
But yeah, that would piss me off. But I've been wanting to see Prince for a few years now, but the tickets are, over $200.
Right.
And I just...
You didn't like him that much.
I don't like him that much. I can't afford it.
Even if you could. Well, if you were a true Prince fan.
If I was a true Prince fan, I would eat SpaghettiOs for a month to afford it. But
instead, you'll just mourn him on Facebook.
I'll just cry about it on Facebook. Well, see, I don't even have Facebook to mourn people. I don't even mourn people on Facebook unless it's my grandma.
Oh.
And that's about it. Prince, I'm not going to.
Well, you don't have the Mourn app?
No, I don't.
There's an app for that?
R.I.P. Prince, he'll be in my heart forever. Bro, he's dead. He can't read that. What do you...
Well, right.
Anyway. Contrary to what you've been hearing for the last 5 minutes, this is not the Prince reunion show or the Prince recollection or the whatever.
Resurrection.
This is the session, the Monday session. We're going to get to all of our awesome show things in a second. We have Jim Matt from Rhinegeist Brewing out in Cincinnati. He's going to be joining us to talk about the Midwest beer scene and all things that may or may not be IPA. He sent 9 beers to us, and they do a bunch of canning and shit like that too.
Oh, nice.
So you have a lot of cans floating around. It's gonna be a cool show, man.
Karen.
But before that, if you want to support awesome witty banter like this and great opinions, you can head to our website and visit our Amazon link if you do your Amazon shopping, which, let's be honest, everybody shops on Amazon. I go to Amazon first to find some stuff, and then I hate having to go through like a normal website to buy crap anymore, because Amazon, it's the next day or even the day after, and that's it. But now normal websites are like, oh, it's 4 days until we can process your order. Really?
Right.
Well, it's also Amazon's really easy to compare. Oh,
right.
I didn't even know that one was there. I'd like that one better.
Yeah. See what other people have bought.
Yeah.
So do all your
Like
Amazon shopping through our Amazon link. We get a little cut. It helps us keep the lights on here, and that's pretty cool. You can also donate. You can be a reoccurring donor or a one-time donor. Either one is fine. Drop a couple bucks here. That'd be cool. You could also shop some cool merch in our BN store. That's also all on the website. You can find us on social media. We're fun. We do things, and it's a great way to keep up with what's going on, what shows are coming up, all that kind of fun stuff. We do have feedback, Doc.
Yay.
Do we have that song?
No, of course not.
Oh. Why would we?
And why would we?
Why don't you? You just don't know where the button is?
I don't know. Something about Jay, he didn't pull...
That's JP's problem a lot in life.
Something about Jay.
I don't know where the button is.
Yeah. The button.
Do you want me to do the Adam and Eve live read right now?
Adam and Eve.
So stay tuned, folks.
We
have updated Adam and Eve copy, and it's kind of amazing. We didn't write it.
Your minds are going to go.
Oh yeah,
dude, it's awesome.
Get ready to get uncomfortable.
Stay tuned for that. Here, I'll use this as a bed. There we go.
More Prince.
Yeah. He would die for us more.
He did.
He did. Look.
Too soon.
If Prince does one thing, he keeps his fucking promises.
Hey, eventually.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. We're going to have beer news, too. That's beer news. Here we go. Feedback. This is from Tim Shore Rules. He says, please continue to criticize cloudy beer.
I will.
Yeah.
No problem.
Not a problem here at all. The next one is from Brian. He says, where are the podcasts? The last one is from February 21. Did you guys give up? Go on a permanent vacation? Where are the podcasts?
It's because you don't donate.
It's because you don't. Yeah, you've been cut off,
Yeah.
right? No, man. Try refreshing your feed. We got that fixed. There was some weird coding issue that was kind of putting stuff out of order. So it should be fine. If you're not seeing the podcast in order now, just you might have to unsubscribe and then resubscribe, or refresh your feed, or shake your phone. Actually, have your baby hold the phone and then shake your baby.
Shake the baby.
Stop it.
And that way you can...
Two birds with one stone.
Two birds with one stone, Warren. That's
Well,
exactly right.
Wait till they stop crying. As soon as they stop crying, then you stop shaking.
But
then your feet is reset.
For whatever reason that doesn't work, and you still can't find the podcast, they're at the very beginning. So you have to scroll all the way down prior to 2005, and the new podcast will be there if refreshing doesn't work for whatever reason.
So look at the beginning.
So they are posted.
To
They're
the
just
end.
weird.
Okay, they're just weird. Just like us. We posted.
They've been posted.
Next one is from Danny. He's a corporal in the BN Army. He says, "Hey, BN crew, I'm a little behind on the shows. I just finished the Seven Stills show. Really cool to hear about a couple of guys with the superpower of turning craft beer into whiskey." I agree. That whiskey is pretty good. Wasn't it, Doc? Oh, wait.
Oh, damn.
That's right.
Oh, and then even after that, you promised me some, and damn, I still haven't had any.
Yeah. I am not Prince.
It makes
I do not keep my promise.
It makes a good old fashioned. I've
really does.
had some since.
Yeah, Warren took some home.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So maybe if you come over, we can drink it.
When you bring back my PicoBrew.
I don't even know where you. It's in my car.
Fuck. That means I have to do something today.
Yes, you do.
JP has amply filled Justin's seat during his absence and has really come into his own as a host. Of course, I do hope Justin doesn't stay out of the studio for long. Well, I appreciate it. I don't know if I share that sentiment, Danny, but I appreciate it. As a longtime listener, it was great to hear Daniela's voice again. That's right. That was the show that Daniela came back. You missed Daniela, too.
Oh, yep.
Right.
Glad to hear her life's been good for her since she dumped that no-talent hack. Her accent still makes me happy, but you guys missed a great opportunity for another special guest to that show, JP's alter ego, the German Prince. Keep up the great work. Cheers.
German Prince.
Yeah, the German Prince. The really awesome gay Austrian accent I did.
Oh, not a musician?
No.
Oh.
It might be.
Well, maybe we should ask him.
Maybe we should. He doesn't exist. The next one is from Phil, and he's a Canadian from Calgary. He says, "Hey, Brewcasters, I've been catching up on some of the older 2015 episodes that I've missed, and yesterday I got to the 10, 12, 15 session show, which was Scratchtown Brewing. Holy fucking shit," he says. "That meltdown was hilarious. Not often do my eyes water from laughter, but apparently I said this, and I don't remember this. I said, here at R.J. Stillwater Marriage Counseling, we recommend one thing and one thing only, the healing, nurturing waters of the male body."
I definitely recall this.
Yeah.
You do?
Oh, I remember that.
Well,
not that line, but yeah, now I remember that.
The R.J. Stillwater, that was... I do miss R.J. Stillwater. And he says the drunk of the week call about the guy peeing on his wife was pure gold. Gold in the shower.
That was the same show?
Apparently.
Oh, wow. That was a good one.
On another note, I've been downloading BN content for a while now, and I've always felt a little guilty for enjoying the content for free. While I have made one-time donations before, today I signed up at the monthly recurring private status. Thank you very much.
Hey, thank you.
With all the comedic and brewing discussions that happen on the session alone, I think it's unfair for us as listeners to take and not give a little back financially. All the best, Phil from Calgary. P.S. Meat. Big lunch meat fan, apparently.
Yeah, if you're not going to pee on your wife, you might as well donate.
Yeah, that's all we ask.
Right.
Either pee on your wife while talking to us.
Right.
In the shower on like a Wednesday, it doesn't count.
Yeah.
Or give us money.
Right.
That's all we're about. The next one we have from Drew, and he says he's in the chat as Sergeant Pirate Wolf. I kind of want to just interview like the weird chat people that we have and see why, like what their name is about. Like Pirate Wolf?
Yeah.
Or Pirate Wolf. I don't know,
maybe that was one of those name generators.
Yeah, just a rhyming dictionary generator. He says, "Good afternoon, you fantastical bastards, Tasty and Bevo. I was out there a few weeks ago for a family wedding and was able to visit the Hop Grenade. The beers were great. The service was great. Moscow was, well, there. Of course, you were at beer camp, so I didn't get to hang out, but so it goes. Turns out that was a good thing. I was supposed to bring some of the crowlers, what are those can growlers, right? Crowlers for my brewery, which is Pleasure House Brewing in Virginia Beach, for Tasty on Saturday, but my in-laws drank them all.
They'll do that.
Which leads me to my question.
Shouldn't have left them out.
Right. Which leads me to my next question. Now that Moscow is no longer, air quote, producing the show, to whom do I ship the beer? I told Tasty I would bring some his way, and I refused to let the man down. Can I send it straight to the Grenade? I actually emailed him back and told him just to send it to me, and Tasty
somehow.
In hindsight, I should have just turned him on to you. And
that's fine, too.
Got him right to you. But, the Hop Grenade, we can't really accept beer. I guess it's not for
Not free beer.
Not free beer, yeah. An invoice. So send me an email, jp@thebrewingnetwork.com, and I will make sure everybody gets their beers. He goes on, he says, by the way, hearing that there will actually be a B&A 11 reminded me that I had let my subscription lapse. Since it's only a few hours away in Baltimore, and since I'm one of those who owes my brewery to you guys, I promoted myself from CPL to SGT. Captain, I guess?
Corporal Sergeant.
Corporal Sergeant. I knew the
Gotta
sergeant.
go up the ladder.
Yeah. To make up for the missing time. I can't make the whole conference, but I can sure as hell come party with you guys that Wednesday. Cheers and keep the faith, Justin. Oh, and JP, you're not really as terrible as an occasional host. Thanks.
Oh,
thanks, buddy. And last but not least, we have James. He says, hey, session crew. I started listening to your podcast in January, and I've been hooked ever since. Every time I listen, it makes me want to quit my job, learn the craft, and brew full-time. Warren, how do you feel about that? Yeah, right. Yeah. Keep the faith, dude. Your job will get better.
Whatever it is.
Right, whatever it might be. Unfortunately, that's easier said than done, but I still want to get my foot in the door to start learning the process of brewing. That being said, I have limited space and funds to do this. I have seen plenty of brewing kits for $50 to $100 online. However, I'm unsure of whether these are worth purchasing. That's why I'm coming to you. What's the best purchasing route to go if I want to experience home brewing, but also want to save a few bucks? Any advice is welcome. Thanks for helping a few hours of my work week go faster. James. So apparently he's a new brewer who listens to the show but has yet to turn out brew.
Well, do you want to experience home brewing or do you want to experience making good beer?
Let's not ruin his dreams yet.
Well, no, I'm saying that's the difference in my mind between spending the $50 to $100 versus spending a little bit more, probably in like the $200 to $300 range.
Yeah.
You have a lot better chance of actually liking what you made than not.
Yeah, so typically the 50... Well, Tasty, you've turned a lot of people on to homebrewing. What do you recommend to people?
Well, I always suggest that they find a pot somewhere. That's the most costly part of starting a homebrew kit is the stainless steel pot. A lot of people will have those, for other reasons in the house or
big spaghetti pot or something.
Yeah,
or a big. They got a turkey fryer.
Turkey fryer.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
You probably want to get a burner. I really recommend people go right outside. Don't try to homebrew on
the stove,
on the kitchen stove.
Yeah, if you want to do it, go outside. Turkey fryer burner.
Yeah, your wife will like you a lot better if you don't mess up the whole kitchen.
If you want to do it again,
right.
Anyway, so if you can get the combo burner and even if it's aluminum, it's okay. Pot, and then plastic buckets were great. I mean, some people they've been brewing a long time like them better than the glass or even the plastic carboys.
Yeah.
So
for sure, man. Totally.
So if you can just pick up a few things. I'm always seeing people on Craigslist that are like getting out of the business, the home brewing business.
Or the hobby.
They're like they don't have the time or the place.
Or
their doctor says they got terminal liver cancer.
Right.
Whatever.
Wow.
They have a reason to quit.
Tasty went dark. Yeah, you're right.
They did it to himself.
But, the homebrew supply stores, they do discount that pretty heavily because they give you all kinds of things in there. The stuff you need. That's what's nice about the kit is they take care of that for you. They give you the hydrometer. If you're just starting out making your own kit, you'd have to know what all to get.
Yeah, if you piecemeal it together, you have a lot of extra learning to do. But
you might find the wrong thing.
Yeah, if you go to the homebrew shop, these are tried and true things. So if you go to morebeer.com, actually,
there you go.
And then there's a tab, equipment, and then starter kits are all right there.
They got like 3 or 4 of them.
They have 5 now,
right?
Actually, which is crazy. So if you want to, personally, what I would do, I would save my money and go starter kit 5, which has kegging.
Yes.
And a full-size kettle, so you can do a full-size boil and a wort chiller. These are things that you're going to upgrade to anyway. So if you have the cash, like Warren was saying, I would definitely do that up front. But check out morebeer.com, man. And essentially, if you think you're even going to like it even a little bit, invest the money.
Yeah, better equipment, you're going to make better beer anyway.
You're going to make better beer, and you're going to have a better time doing it.
It just makes it so much easier. And what JP was talking about, getting the kegging system, it's so much easier than making bottles.
Oh, yeah.
Totally. I mean, and you don't have to. You don't have to go kegging. A lot of people bottle for years, but it sucks.
It's a lot more time-consuming, and there's a lot more risk of contamination. You have to be super thorough cleaning and sanitizing all of those. Because it takes about, 5 cases to do a 5-gallon batch?
Yeah, and you're going to be...
Versus 1 keg.
You put it off, too. You got that carboy sitting there, and because it's like a second brew day.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
You're cleaning off everything. You're putting it in there. You're meshing stuff out. It's like a second brew day. So I usually just put it off. And then I kind of made it a little better with the 22-ounce bottles because it didn't take as many.
Yeah.
But it's kind of hard to have one beer sometimes.
Yeah, and the one thing you'll learn that's really more valuable than anything in homebrewing is your time. So the more crap that you have, I think the less time you'll take. If you get the turkey fryer burner and a larger kettle, depending on your stove, that will save you time because you can go to a boil faster. If you buy a wort chiller, you'll cool down faster, and you won't have to spend do a 9 or 10 hour brew day doing all this crap. You can do bust one out in about 6 or so. And an hour, shaving an hour off your brew day is awesome.
And there's a lot of quality issues with the speed of your chilling too.
Yeah.
So a wort chiller is definitely worth even if it's just $40-$50.
Yeah, for sure. I know we've done a couple of shows, at least one in particular, about beginning homebrewing. So I would do yourself a favor and go back through the archives, man.
Yeah, there you
go. And grab one of those shows, and then hit up the guys at More Beer, and they'll those 5 kits, man. I stand by them for sure. They have definitely everything you need. All right, we're going to take a break, and then when we come back, we're going to talk to Jim Matt from Rhinegeist Brewing out in Cincinnati. It's The Session. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Brewcasters. On the Brewing Network.
The 21st Amendment.
Watch out!
Do you like beer? They make beer.
Watch out!
Do you like friends and fun? They make friends and fun.
Watch
Do
out!
you still like to have a good time? The 21st Amendment.
Watch out!
The 21st Amendment in San Francisco, located at 563 2nd Street, 2 blocks from the building where baseball is seen and played. Try their beers in the pub or try them in the can, featuring
Monk's Blood.
Made with real monk.
Watch out!
So why not have the best time of your life? Go to the 21A and Sean O'Sullivan will personally greet you with a can of
Monk's Blood.
The 21st Amendment.
Watch out!
This advertisement is not in any way affiliated nor associated with the 21st Amendment Bar and Pub, nor its subsidiaries or affiliates. This telecast is not copywritten by the 21st Amendment for the private use of the Brewing Network. Any use of this telecast without Jamil Zainashev's consent is prohibited. Suck it, JP.
Hey, my brewing brothers and sisters. This is Jamel Zainashev, and I want to tell you about Heretic Evil Twin. You might be familiar with my homebrew recipe, which uses massive late hopping to create a balance between the malty sweet and the hoppy bitter, along with an outrageous malt and hop character. I wanted a beer with the same bold hop and malt character, so we played around with the homebrew recipe until we were able to make a great commercial version too. We've created a beer rich in malt character, full of caramel, toast, biscuit, and an ever so subtle roast note. On top of that, we piled in an insane amount of Citra and Columbus hops at the end of the boil, as well as in dry hopping. This damn-the-cost approach to hopping gives Heretic's Evil Twin a great blast of citrus and tropical fruit that can't be matched by any other hop. The result is a bold, malty, hoppy, but easy-drinking beer. This is our top seller, our flagship beer, and I couldn't be prouder of it. Cheers.
To find Heretic beers near you, click on Find Some at hereticbrewing.com.
Brewing great beer is a process of continuous learning, and the best books on every aspect of brewing can be found at Brewers Publications, with more than 50 awesome titles like Modern Homebrew Recipes by Gordon Strong, Designing Great Beers, the Ultimate Guide to Brewing Classic Beer Styles by Ray Daniels, American Sour Beers, Innovative Techniques for Mixed Fermentations by Michael Tonsmeyer, For the Love of Hops, The Practical Guide to Aroma, Bitterness, and the Culture of Hops by Stan Hieronymus, and Radical Brewing, Recipes, Tales, and World-Altering Meditations in a Glass by Randy Mosher, plus many, many more. These are the books and the authors with the knowledge to push your brewing farther than you thought possible. And you'll find them all at fine homebrew and book retailers everywhere. And visit the website at brewerspublications.com. Brewers Publications, all the best on beer and brewing.
Since the first time the Brewing Network microphones turned on, More Beer was behind it.
More Beer sponsors the programming on the BN because, like you, they love brewing. And like the Brewing Network, they love sharing their knowledge. Morebeer.com isn't just a website to place your next equipment or ingredient order. Morebeer.com also gives you access to free beer information that will make you a better brewer. Go to morebeer.com and click into the Learning Center. You'll find podcasts, technical facts, video tutorials, and more, including access to The Buzz, More Beer's social network of more than 5,000 members. And some of them might even be crazier about beer than you are. Get over to morebeer.com today and take advantage of The Buzz, the forum, the Learning Center, and make sure you're signed up to receive the newest More Beer catalog. More Beer, bringing you absolutely everything for beer making.
Marin Brewing Company in Northern California has been making award-winning beers for more than 25 freaking years. Today, I want to tell you about their new 12-ounce cans of Mount Tam Pale Ale. The good stuff, Mount Tam is bright gold, 5.5% ABV to keep you feeling good, and has been winning awards since 1989. If you're visiting the Bay Area, get your butt out to Marin Brewing Company. They pour tasty beers and serve great food every day until midnight. Come in for a tour, stay for the food, and pick up a 6-pack of cans of Mount Tam Pale Ale to enjoy at home, camping, biking, or whatever the hell you do. Owner Brendan Moylan has this to say about Marin Brewing beers.
It's freaking awesome.
Marin Brewing has won more than 100 gold medals in international competitions. Check out marinbrewing.com for all their award-winning beers, food, and merch. Marin Brewing Company in Larkspur, California. Award-winning taste, refreshing finish. It's freaking awesome.
Brewcasters are back. It ain't 401 beer.
Whatever.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for hanging out. Before we jump on the line with Jim, Warren, I errantly looked over the Twitter game. Overlooked the Twitter game, actually.
Yes, you did.
Do we have one?
Actually, we do.
All right, the Twitter game today is brought to you by, let me shuffle some papers and figure out who the fuck brings you this awesome game. Beer Law Center. You can go to beerlawcenter.com if you or anybody you know and love has a trademark that they want to protect or something that they want to trademark or copyright. But especially in the beer industry, if you guys are working in the beer industry and someone's trying to tack your logo or you want to register a logo, contact John at Beer Law Center. He's a good dude, wears a bow tie, super handsome, good kisser, and I've heard. And
Sure.
yeah, he'll help you. He helps us protect our deal, and he can help you do the same. So, beerlawcenter.com. Warren, what's our Twitter game, buddy?
So, in thinking about all of the events of last week, and we kind of rehashed the main one already on the show, I was wondering, since when Prince died, they were turning bridges and buildings purple. People were dyeing their hair.
Yeah.
He was getting all-day plays on the radio, that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
I was wondering, since all of us are at least as talented as he was, how is the
minimum.
world at least?
Yeah.
How is the world going to mourn us when
we die?
When we die,
like individually, or if we all go down in an airplane?
That could happen.
Well, I would imagine
or on a ship somewhere.
Yeah. Well, yeah, all of us, one of us. How is the world going to mourn the Brewcast?
Okay, so the first person on the show to die.
Sure.
How is the world going to mourn?
How does it go? Always go back to the death pool.
Whoever wins or loses the death pool
goes back to the death pool.
Depending on how you put it.
We're a one-trick pony, and that pony is death.
Death pool.
It's a race to the finish.
This really is. Okay, great.
Yeah.
I love it.
So, yeah, let's see how everyone's going to mourn us.
So who's going to die, and then how are they going to mourn us?
Well, I mean, you could
doesn't
pick...
have to be who's
yeah,
going to die, right?
It's just... I mean, you could pick somebody, which one of us is going to die, or all of us. Whatever you want to do.
Whatever you want. Dealer's choice.
Right, exactly.
Okay. I like it.
Yeah.
I wonder how they're going to... what would they do for you, Warren, when you die? Because you're going to die soon, because the young ones always go. Did you ever notice that?
Oh, yeah.
The young ones are always gone.
Got to surprise you.
Right. So, and I feel like a lot of your energy is spent growing hair.
Mm-hmm.
Like all over, not just on your face, but
No,
you're
it's
just a hairy
everywhere.
guy. So I feel like if you ever got really, really sick, your body wouldn't have enough energy stored up in it to actually cure yourself because
Yeah.
you're too busy producing follicles.
Oh, you don't think it could switch?
I don't think it can.
It wouldn't stop growing hair to heal itself? It would
No, you're a one-track entity, and that track
true.
is hair.
Okay.
Like, that's what you're
Yeah.
here for.
I know what I'm good at.
Yeah. Well, your body's good at it.
Right. It's good at making it.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe people would do like a no-shave November for me.
Oh, yeah. How clever.
Yeah.
They do that already, Bev says.
For me?
Not for you, but like a no, don't shave July.
Right. Whenever it is.
Yeah.
Don't shave next week.
Don't shave.
Yeah.
Like everybody?
Everybody.
All right.
Women. Men.
Kids. Kids will be your biggest supporter because they won't shave.
For years.
JP.
Even.
What's that?
Take that.
Drinking some beer?
Yeah.
All right.
So I figured that, I've made it through my accident years. The ones where...
Oh, yeah, you're coasting.
You guys do stupid things
Well, you did
and
stupid
die.
shit and got away with it? Yeah.
I did a lot of stupid things
Oh,
already.
I did too.
Yeah. I made it this far.
Yeah, all 26 years or whatever it is. No, wait, you're 30. Okay,
30.
fine.
We got Jim on the line. Jim, hey, man, we're talking about accidents and how dumb kids are. You ever do anything really stupid? Besides come on
when
the
I
show?
was a kid, I kind of found my grandfather's pellet gun, and I was kind of looking at it and
Shot your eye
looking
out,
down the
didn't you?
barrel of it, and almost. I'm like, I probably shouldn't be doing this, and I pointed at the ground, I shot it, and the pellet came out, and it's like, the damn good thing I didn't just look at that. That was just kind of like escaping.
So you had
shooting
some-
my out by a narrow margin, I guess.
You were born with a little bit of common sense.
Very small amount. At that point, it came in really handy. So I probably used all my 9 lives on that one particular incident.
Yeah, totally. Well, actually, I forgot to introduce you, Jim. We're talking to Jim Matt. He's from Rhinegeist Brewing, and you guys are out in Cincinnati, right?
That's correct. Yep.
Admittedly, I don't know a whole lot about the beer scene out there in the Midwest. What's the beer scene like out there? You guys are relatively new. Were you one of the first breweries in Cincy, or what?
Actually not. The history of brewing in Cincinnati actually goes back pre-Prohibition. We're a river city. We're just down the river from Pittsburgh, a few hours down the river. And pre-Prohibition, there were over 24 breweries here in Cincinnati. It's a town that's really steeped in tradition from the German immigrants. So 24 to 30 breweries pre-Prohibition, and then that nasty thing, Prohibition, came and essentially shut everything down.
Oh, wow.
And then back in the early 90s, a few small breweries started to come back, Rivertown Brewing, Mount Carmel Brewing. We had a brewery called Main Street Brewing, and then about 4 or 5 years ago, the scene started to shift toward getting more craft breweries here. So, Ohio is a fairly big state where in the northern part of the state is Cleveland, and they've got some great breweries up there. Great Lakes, Fatheads is an excellent brewery. Columbus is kind of coming along in the central part of the state. And now we have probably about 15 breweries here, and it's just kind of exploding.
Wow, 15?
Anywhere. About 15.
Wow.
So not a ton, but considering that we only had about 2 just a handful of years ago, it's really coming on pretty strong. And ranges anywhere from the Nano Brewery to I'm not going to count the guys down the street. We actually have a brewery that I could hit. If I could hit a golf ball, I could probably hit a golf ball from our place to the Samuel Adams Brewery. They have their second biggest production facility is just mere blocks from us. So I won't count them in the whole metrics, but we're currently the largest brewery in Cincinnati as far as produced barrels of beer.
Wow, is that a lot of competition, or is it one of those, a rising tide lifts all boats kind of thing? Do you see more and more people coming in because of another craft brewery, or is it really kind of competitive environment for tap handles in that kind of market?
I think it's increasingly competitive. We're really good friends with all the other breweries in the area. Another up-and-coming brewery that's just actually really close to where I live is Mad Tree Brewery. They started just a little bit before we did, and they're looking at doing this huge $15 million expansion. They're going from a 15-barrel brew house to a 100-barrel brew house, so they're not fooling around. We produced about 30,000 barrels of beer last year. We started with a 20-barrel brew house, and we now have a 60-barrel brew house. We still have those brew houses going. There are several other breweries here in town that are kind of mid-sized and lots of other nano breweries, but it's like everybody sees a part of that pie. I moved here from Indianapolis several years ago, and in Sun King Brewing, I used to work for those guys, great guys, and they were the first production brewery in Indianapolis since Prohibition, and now within the city of Indianapolis, you've got a couple of dozen breweries in the entire state of Indiana, almost a couple hundred. So I think here in the Midwest, I think it's just lagging a little bit behind everything on the West Coast and on the East Coast, but the quality is going up. People are really excited about it. I think the city of Cincinnati for a long, long time was really a craft beer wasteland up until a handful of years ago. Just people, really small breweries. The kind of upshot of that was that the distributors here were able to get a lot of beers from around the nation. So I think the overall palate of your average Ohio brewer is actually quite sophisticated. So if you're going to come to this market, you better be making some good beer because you've got some pretty tough critics in the area.
Is that how
no
it
doubt
starts?
about it.
Is that how it starts? Do you think, where the general public is used to drinking good beer? I feel like not every city or not every area could handle a brewery because unless the general public is ready for those flavors. And it sounds like that's kind of what the bars did. They bring in a bunch of craft beer and then wait and see how that shakes out, and then people are like, hey, we can actually jump into this and produce locally.
I totally agree with that. I think that your consumer, your local consumer base will drive the demand. If you're making all these craft beers and your local consumer base just doesn't like craft beer, they're used to kind of more the mega brewed beers, then you're not going to really crack too many tap handles. And I mean, we're located in it's called the tri-state area, so we're very close to Indiana. We're very close to Kentucky. Obviously, we're located in Ohio, but as you morph down the river, the palate, people's palate changes. They kind of go for more of the gateway kind of beers, and there's a lot of establishment by the big mega breweries down in Kentucky, so we got to take that in consideration. We do distribute down in Kentucky as well as Ohio, but in Ohio it's just totally different because there are some of the more major metropolitan areas in Ohio, Cincinnati being one of them. Dayton's a mere 45 minutes away. Columbus is 2 hours away. We distribute all those places. That craft, that palate, that demand is there. And several great breweries have opened up in Dayton, lots of good breweries up in Columbus, and they're all killing it. It's like everybody's pretty much selling every drop of beer that they can possibly produce, and looking at, and it's crazy.
No, it's
new, right?
And so, I mean, you guys have only opened, 2013, I think, right?
Yeah, so we're approaching our 3-year anniversary in June, and we started very, very. I think kind of the norm for a production brewery. We were able to procure a 20-barrel brew house, used one from Mexico, and we started brewing on it. We had 4 40-barrel fermenters, and we were brewing into those things and keeping things going. And we kind of said to ourselves, going along, and it's like, holy shit, we're just releasing beer on draft in the tap room as well. And then the demand went up and got a couple of 80-barrel fermenters, and owners were like, yeah, this should allow us to start canning, and it really didn't. We needed to get 100-barrel fermenters, 120-barrel fermenters, 200-barrel fermenters, and then our original space that we were leasing, we were maxed out within 18 months. We were maxed out in that space.
So you guys are all driving Teslas, I imagine, then, right?
Well, there are some in the area.
No, but you at the brewery,
we are. But
every brewery is buying a Tesla, I'm sure, right? Because I mean, that's a ton of cash.
It's going into buying more fermenters.
I think so.
Right? Yeah. When you're doing that,
it is.
all of your profits going right into upsizing the next fermenter.
That's too bad.
Right.
How do you get rich
Exactly
at making
right.
beer then?
Stop growing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you just kind of reinvest in the brewery. So basically, the history of the building where we are, the building was built in 1895. It was actually the bottling building for a very large brewery corporation called the Christian Moorline Brewery, Heritage brand. So the building that we're in is over 100,000 square feet, but we were only able to lease 25,000 square feet at the time. So have a huge tap room in there, brew pad. We kind of maxed that out at 1,160 barrels of fermentation space about 18 months ago, and then we had to make the big decision that we really need to buy this building, A, and B, put in a bigger brew house and do all kinds of infrastructure work to actually make this a real grown-up brewery instead of just like, we'll brew the, we're a marketing company that brews the occasional beer. That's kind of the running joke around. But in order to do the big boy things, you need to make some big boy investments. Back when we were brewing 20 times a week, so 4 brews a day, 5 days a week, on our old manual 20-barrel JV Northwest brew house. Great brew house. I learned how to brew on the thing years ago. But at that point, you're putting a lot of physical labor in, paying a lot of people a lot of money to be there to babysit the brewery. So, and at that point, our old canning line would take like 3 or 4 shifts of people to drain one of the bright tanks at the time. Just like we got to do something. So the expansion was planned. We went to CBC a couple of years ago, looked at brew houses, looked at buying the building, looked at buying a bigger canning line, looked at buying a bigger centrifuge, yada, 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 raising more money. And so we did all that. We now own the building that we're in. We have over 100,000 square feet.
Wow.
We have a really cool rooftop deck that just opened a few weeks ago. 60-barrel brew house, 4-vessel Braucon brew house. We have 13 240-barrel fermenters, so we're now at, do the math, 4,300 barrels of fermentation space.
Wow.
We're brewing about 30 times a week, and we got a big boy canning line that'll can about 200 cans a minute, and hired more people. We've been in a really good position that we've kind of had some people come up to us and it's like, hey, I've been brewing out such and such, looking for a brewer. So we've been trying to stay a half a person to one person ahead of the curve instead of a half a person to one person behind. So we've got 7 really good guys that work on the brewing side and are cross-trained in the cellar. I still do a lot of recipe formulation, do some brewing, but I'm getting our quality lab set up, running pretty smoothly.
Wait, I'm sorry to jump in, Jim, but did you just say that you're actively aware that people are going to be poaching your employees, so you kind of overstock on employees, so you don't get left behind?
I wouldn't.
Is that what you're saying?
I wouldn't say. No, I wouldn't say that we're afraid of being poached, but
well, not afraid, but just aware that it happens.
Well, that generally happens in any place, in small business especially. Start poaching people.
Oh, sure.
Okay, but I think especially in the beer world. I mean, that's how you got involved in Rhinegeist, right? You were working somewhere else, and they approached you. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, and that kind of thing happens.
I think it's cool.
I mean, there's a lot of turnover in this business.
Yeah.
I think that given our culture, the way that I think that I learned from places that I used to work, how I kind of saw how people were treated, and I kind of learned from that how not to treat people. I kind of
good on you, man.
Exactly. It's like, hey, I used to work at a pharmaceutical company, and it's basically like you're not paid to think, you're not paid to talk, you're paid to work. Shut the fuck up, get the fuck back to work. Just be lucky you have a fucking job, motherfucker. And just like that's a tremendously terrible way to treat people.
Yeah.
And I kind of joke around at work, and that's kind of my tagline about that. But people know it's like, hey, I'm not going to ask you to do anything I haven't done several hundred times, and trying to set up a culture and make sure people aren't too overworked. I mean, everybody at the brewery is pretty overworked, but
that's the nature,
with,
I think, right?
With competition in town, people are going to probably approach some of our guys and say, "Hey, I'm starting up a brewery up the road. You want to come join us?" And we're fully aware of that.
Okay. Well, I think it's smart. Don't get me wrong. I didn't think it was a bad move or a dumb move, but considering where you came from, I think it's important. I think it's important for a lot of growing breweries to keep that in mind and don't take it personally. I think also, right? It's part of the business.
I think it's one thing
exactly
is being able
right.
to afford it.
It's all business, and I think that people move in this industry. I think, like from my own perspective, I worked in the pharmaceutical industry for 20 years, and Sun King Brewery was looking for a guy to set up their lab and do some brewing on the, assistant brewing, and I said, hell yeah, I'm really interested in that. So, I kind of was fortunate to be on the accelerated program there. They trusted me to do my job. I really learned a lot from them. At the time, I was dating they're located in Indianapolis, and I'm in Cincinnati. We're separated by about 100 miles. So I was dating somebody here in Cincinnati, so I was doing that kind of medium-distance commute. And as you know, it's all about women, right? There's always going to be a woman that kind of tugs at you. So
true.
Stayed with Sun King for about a year and a half, and then got an offer from a brew pub here in Cincinnati, the Christian Moorline Lager House. And they brought me on, and it was a chance to go from this big production brewery down to a smaller kind of brew pub environment. So I got a lot of experience working in a different setting there. Brew pub, it's like they're more about food and do a little bit of beer on the side.
That's
cool. It's like the interesting thing these days is that the talent. I mean, the talent pool for brewers is just running thin. It's like there are a lot of people that run between breweries and just go to the place with the biggest offer. It's like if you have a couple of years of brewing experience, you're pretty valuable on the open market these days.
That's the way it is here as well. Hi, Jim. Mike McDowell. Long time no see.
Long time no see, sir.
Yeah, I remember we used to hang a little bit. The job openings is far exceeding the qualified people to take them. So there was not too long ago that you couldn't get an entry level job at a brewery unless you had some sort of like formal education, And
exactly.
that was like the acid test. Now, if you're like, physically able, they'll put you into the cellar, and then they're just watching people that they immediately pull them right out and put them on a brew shift because they can't get people. And then even the guys that are already on the shift, they're getting pulled away. They're starting nanos, or they're getting head brewer jobs at other places because they can't find people that are willing to take those jobs because they're all like locked down.
Exactly, and the market's just going to get worse and worse. I think there are a couple of different strategies from, like I know from our friends down at Samuel Adams, they lock those guys up pretty tightly in a non-compete agreement. Although one of the best stories I can tell is my buddy Brian was kind of wrapped up in that non-compete there, and there's a micro distillery right across the river that kind of wooed him away, and Samuel Adams guys were like, you can't really leave us, go over there, and he's like, not in the scope of the non-compete, see ya. So
he found a loophole.
Yeah, exactly, and that's a great. I'm personally not a huge fan of non-competes. I think if you set your workers up for success and treat them well and pay them relatively well and all that they'll stay. And the people that don't want to stay, they probably weren't meant to stay anyway. So it's just one of those things. We'll try and treat people well, and we will get some turnover. Had a little bit, not a lot, and hopefully nobody goes over to Samuel Adams because we'll never get them back.
Let's shift to the beer here for a sec, Jim, because you sent us a bunch, man. I appreciate it. First of all, don't get me wrong.
Sure.
We're working through them.
We're working through them right now. We popped, the first one we opened was the Mosaic Pale Ale. What is it called? Is it called Rarity, or is that...
It's just called Mosaic. The Rarity is kind of a series of That term we don't use quite as much because we do a lot of beers that we consider rarity. So rarity a lot of times will be we brew it on our old 20-barrel system. We'll throw it into a 40-barrel and 80-barrel fermenter. They'll get released on draft, maybe a little bit in bombers, as you see the Mosaic is there. But that one was kind of inspired by there's a awesome brewery. You guys are pretty familiar with, probably Founders Brewing up in Michigan, and they have this really nice beer called Mosaic Promise. I'm like, this is a great beer. I love this beer. We weren't really trying to clone it, but we were trying to put our own spin on it. It's like, as you guys know, Mosaic hops are great. They're kind of a cross between Simcoe and Nugget, so I think they have a lot of the good character of Simcoe and not a lot of what people consider bad character, the cat pee character. But also
there's none of that.
Herbal. Yeah, some people get it, and I don't necessarily get that, but I love the Mosaic hop. Not all hops really express themselves very well in the single hop experiment. They're 2-1 note, but in the case of Mosaic, we love a little bit of the tropical character. We love a little bit of that herbal character. We love a little bit of that mid-citrus character to it. Yeah. I think it just rounds the beer out just very well. It's a pale ale. Just drinks pretty well, and what do you guys think of it?
It does. It's really. It might be a really stupid question. Actually, I'm going to correct myself. It is a really dumb question. It's all Mosaic hop.
We use Bravo for the bittering, but the rest of the hops in the kettle and in the whirlpool are Mosaic.
I like it. Drinking it, there's a lot of kind of high fruit and floral notes, and I was like, wow, this is really unique as far as a hop flavor goes, for me anyway. I don't drink a lot of this kind of stuff. And then I looked on it, and the description, I think, nailed exactly the flavors, which is, I think, rare in the beer industry, to find a description that actually is really representative of the thing inside the bottle. Tropical fruit, grapefruit blossom, and mandarin orange. Yeah, totally. Grapefruit blossom, though. And that to me is, people go grapefruit. Yeah, but I think that's never really a descriptor to catch everything.
But so the grapefruit blossom to it.
Yeah,
I don't know what a grapefruit blossom smells like.
I grew up with grapefruit trees in my yard, so I don't know. Yeah, it has like a citrusy but perfumey kind of thing happening. I don't know. I thought it was dead on, or I'm just fucking lying to myself.
So for that one, we just used some 2-row, a little bit of wheat, a little bit of a German crystal malt we like called Cara Red.
Okay.
And then we went with some hops that were a little bit more unusual. There's a new one called Idaho 7, so it's a pretty dank and grapefruity high alpha acid hop from out in the west from Idaho, and then a couple of Southern Hemisphere hops called Vic Secret and Ella. So.
Okay.
I think that you can look at Vic Secret and Ella to be like toned-down versions of Galaxy, so you get some light tropical fruit notes from there. There's a little bit of dankness, pininess, earthiness from those. And the Idaho 7 kind of adds on to that, but the Idaho 7 gives kind of that medium grapefruit rind, grapefruit zest note to it that kind of ties it all together. So we're really big fans of trying some of these more obscure hop varieties from Australia and New Zealand. We'll get 220 or 330 pounds at a time, trying a few batches, and we'll flush them out usually by doing a single hop experiment, and then we'll be like, yeah, we really like that one, so we'll kind of play with the combinations and go with what we think works. So
that's what you use the small brew house for, is to do these one-offs?
Exactly. It's really great to be able to still brew on the old brew house, 20 or 40 barrels at a time. For me personally, there's just something very satisfying about getting my hands on that system, and a lot of the employees that want to shadow a brewer, we let them come up and help me out, clean up the mash tun, whatever I need them to do. And it's just really fun to have that
makes it more
as a
fun,
second brew house.
No, we just popped a can of Truth. You have Truth here. I think this is your flagship beer.
It is, yes. Our best-selling beer by a fairly wide margin.
Oh, wow.
One thing I noticed about it is that I can see through it. Are you doing that on purpose? It's actually clear.
You know what?
I would
No
say
cloudy.
This, I would
Yeah.
say this is juicy,
'Cause
Jim, and that's
yeah.
fucked up.
You guys are pretty far east
Yeah.
from us.
Yeah, I think we had a pretty extensive discussion with this about the kind of trend of non-filtered IPAs on social media, and I just
have you?
I for one don't really believe in it so much. I mean,
it exists.
Yeast, dead yeast, putrefying yeast, and too much in the beer just doesn't really appeal to me. But yeah, we actually threw that one through our centrifuge, so it's relatively clear. It's not,
I appreciate it.
It's got a little bit of hop haze to it. But,
It's super clear, but what it doesn't have is hop flavor. So, and that's really what people say why they don't clear their beer is because you're dropping out all the flavor. Where's all the flavor, Jim? This is fucked up.
I think if you look on the bottom of the can, it might be hidden in the little packet on the bottom.
Yeah, you have to, it's like
add it back.
ramen. Yeah.
Add it back.
Yeah.
You know, that would actually be a great marketing gimmick. Take a bunch of hop powder and put it in little packets, and then ship that with the super clear IPA, and be like, "Here, look. If you want to have a cloudy beer, you add this like Top Ramen,
or even just hop extract. Just add a little dollop of oil on the can, and you can
or just that. Just snuff it.
It's very funny you say that because I had this idea that never really panned out, and I guess I can't really patent it anymore because this is considered disclosure. But what would happen if you took like the widget from Guinness, but instead of having nitrogen in there, you had some sort of hop aerosol in there to kind of reinfuse hops into the beer.
That's a good idea.
In the can.
Yeah, super fresh hop aromas.
Sell that idea to Guinness, man.
There's some nitrous oxide.
Yeah,
they're starting to do something.
Yeah, exactly.
Make some fun.
Who doesn't like nitrous oxide, right, Doc?
Always patients do.
Yeah. They're shut up.
I had that for the first. I had my wisdom teeth out a week and a half ago. I've never had. The doctor was like, "Have you ever had nitrous before?" And I kept saying, "Not in a clinical setting."
Yes,
and, that seemed to work for him. And
can I get a beer with this?
It worked really well.
Yeah,
I felt the healing powers of gas.
And it makes the time fly by and everything else. Yeah.
There's a reason that people use it.
Oddly enough,
right? She works
for all kinds of reasons
in a clinical setting. So Jim,
no hangover from it. It just
but I was a little sweaty. I got a little weirded out about it. So, but I was getting teeth ripped out of my head, so maybe that was it too.
Yep, it's that anxiety thing.
Yeah.
Anything to kind of take the edge off of that, I'm a big fan of that. So.
Yeah, for sure.
So Jim, I understand this is about 40% of your sales. What format would I find this in the market in your area?
Truth?
Yeah, truth.
So we're looking at it in the can.
The can here, is that...
Be honest with us.
Is it in bottles too?
Yeah, a big amount in 12-ounce cans. Also available on draft. And, sell it through most of the major liquor store chains, grocery store chains, pretty much anything that sells beer will, provided that they're able to actually A, sell it, and B, we prefer that they keep them cold because, the warmer it is, it just falls off a cliff really quickly. We've done a lot of these sensory experiments, and essentially if you keep it warm versus cold, that warm beer is going to age by 8 to 10 times faster than that cold beer. So pretty depressing. But
it's a sad thing.
The way it works.
Yeah, it's just
it's sad. Kind of like Prince dying.
That's when you get into the chains that you can't control that. They order it by the pallet. They can put it by the pallet on the floor if they want to. I guess
floor pellet.
Exactly. I think that we have here in the state of Ohio, we have the advantage that we can self-distribute with no limit. So we can kind of pick and choose. So the plan is we're going to stick with the self-distribution model down in the central and southern Ohio region, and then in northern Ohio, northeastern Ohio, we're rolling with a distributor. So we're able to keep pretty good reins on that central and southern Ohio model, and obviously we distribute in Kentucky. So trying to do the best we can. I think self-distribution helps us.
Well, you guys do a little bit. What percentage of your production do you distribute yourselves? To me, it looked like you had a really big fleet.
We do, yeah. Probably 70% or more is distributed by us in Dayton, Columbus, and Cincinnati.
Well, that's quite a bit.
So, yeah, we have a huge fleet of Sprinter vans. We have a distribution warehouse in Columbus, which is about 2 hours away. So we have own our own 18-wheeler, so we just ship beer up there.
So
and yeah, it's working pretty well so far. It just
sounds like it.
The farther you get away from home, yeah, and
it gets scary.
You're not giving that distributor a cut of the profits either. So helps us make more money to reinvest in the brewery and get more Sprinter vans.
Yeah, when you get into distribution, you got to make it up in volume, and that's obviously, I'm sure that's why you guys expanded to fill up those 200-barrel fermenters.
Yeah, for sure, and the Sprinter vans. You know, get that beer out of there.
Well, that's going to at some point seem like the smallest part of your business is the local self-distributed.
Yeah, for sure. So that cracking can sound you just heard was me cracking open a peach dodo, which is a goza with peaches. And you mentioned that you definitely wanted to talk about this beer, and tasting it, I can see why. It's awesome.
Thank you.
It's awesome.
I know,
how do you feel about
JP, you're not a big fan of the IPA so much. And
I was so happy that you sent this beer in, man. I was like, oh, good, finally. And something
the
that's
one
not
that
IPA.
I really wanted to send just for you, actually, was we do a British mild. It's 3.8%. We ran out right before sending the beer out, but it's 3.8%. It's it's one of my old homebrew recipes, actually, and it just a great beer. I'll send you some to follow us up. But Peach Dodo, we realized that a lot of the sensory training and sensory exercises that we do is we try other people's beer, believe it or not, and see what we like and see what we don't. Kind of looking at the different gozes that we like. There's this one out of Asheville called Westbrook, and Westbrook's really popular. We really like it. We kind of deconstruct it and say, what do we like about Westbrook? And Anderson Valley, their blood orange goza is great. So last year we decided we're going to make a small amount of this Peach Dodo, and then it pretty much hit. And then our management said, all right, we got to figure out a way to make like 800 barrels of this shit. I'm like, all right, it's going to be a great challenge. But last year we did just all the souring in the kettle, which worked okay. But once you are doing things in the kettle, the problem is you can introduce oxygen in there. The quality can waver quite a bit. So once you actually get over the fear of using a fermenter with live lactobacillus cultures in it, then you can actually control the oxygen levels, the temperature in there much tighter. So that's what we decided to do. We diverted one of our 200-barrel fermenters to sour for a few batches, and then so we sour, we come back into the kettle to boil it. We'll knock it out to the other 200-barrel fermenter, just use a regular California ale yeast on it to ferment it. We'll add peach juice toward the end of fermentation, so that all the sugar gets fermented out. We like just a little bit of salt in it, and we think it's just going to kill it for the summertime. We're actually already out of draft on it. We're looking at brewing some more, and I predict that it could become a year-round thing with enough success behind it. So.
It's a great first whack at it.
Yeah, for sure.
It's full of flavor.
Yeah.
You know, we were talking when we were up at Sierra Nevada Beer Camp a month or two ago, and we were talking to the brewers about how they did that Otra Vase, their goza with cactus flower. What the fuck? Not yellow root, but
agave. Is it agave or something like that?
No, it's
something like that.
What is it?
Come on, I forget. It starts with a Y though.
It does?
Yeah, Yakuza juice. I think it's Yakuza juice. It's not really, but it's something like that. Anyway, they're like, so we brewed the goza and we nailed it, and the style was great, and everyone loved it, but it was missing something, and it wasn't until we added the juice from the something or other that it really kind of hit home. And I think the goza is a style that maybe needs fruit. It needs something else, some other kind of dimension, because
prickly pear cactus.
Prickly pear cactus.
Yeah, where's the Y?
That's what I said. Yakuza.
Okay.
I don't know, whatever. And I don't know. I mean, there's really not a whole lot to the beer, but when you add that fruit, There's a different level, and it turns it into something entirely different. It's almost like a fruit flavoring delivery device.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'm not a huge fan of doing fruit beers just for the sake of doing fruit beers, and this was one that we kind of hit on. It's definitely a beer with a little bit of fruit flavoring to it instead of being like fruit with a little bit of beer flavoring to it. That's kind of what we were shooting for.
Tasty, how many drops of peach juice do you think is in each can? You're the expert.
In a can? What, 12 ounce?
Yeah.
10.
10 drops.
Yeah. I can fruit that beer in 10 drops.
That should be the next game we play.
How
I
many
can
drops?
fruit that beer in 10. I can do it in 8.
Oh, yeah.
So the aroma that carries through it carries through the ferment. Everything goes through the ferment, or there's no back?
Yes, everything goes through the ferment. We don't arrest the fermentation or back sweeten or anything like that. It's fully fermented out.
Now you mentioned. Now do you then CIP that fermenter and then use it for clean beer?
We did. So we what we did was we did a bunch of just the version of Dodo, and then at the end of it, we pulled all the soft parts off.
Oh yeah.
Threw them in a pressure cooker, and then we cleaned the living shit out of that fermenter. Did caustic acid. Did another cleaning cycle on it. A double sanitation on it. We have we have some plating capabilities in house, and also a really handy meter. It's ATP, bioluminescence. So you swab something, if it lights up, then you know it's not clean. So
gives you an immediate result.
Yeah.
Warren got a chemistry boner off of that one.
I did. I have it.
Good for you guys.
Let me just borrow it. I'll bring it back.
Just the tip of it, though.
Yeah. Well, the tips you can buy a lot of tips.
Okay, good.
Oh.
you can buy a lot of tips.
Yeah. That's the cheap part.
Lengths too. So.
Everybody has a tip.
Right. Yeah.
That's true.
Speaking of the 200 barrel fermenters, did you have those when you were still just had the 20 barrel brew house?
Yeah.
So you were taking 2.5 days to fill.
You don't
one of
have
those?
to fill them.
Wow. What is that? Is that how many turns is that?
10 turns with a 20 barrel brew house.
So here's a little trick that I'll tell you that we did to. So we replaced our original mash tun with a larger mash tun. So we were doing some high gravity boils at the time. So we were able to yield about 35 barrels of truth per turn. So it was essentially 4 brews one day, 3 brews the following day. Lots of work, but that was what the plan was, to kind of bridge the gap between maxing out our production on the small brew house before we got the larger brew house.
How did you guys manage oxygenation and yeast pitching when you're spraying the brew over 2 days?
It was really actually not a big deal. We just kind of targeted whatever that. So essentially 140 barrels. You're looking at yeast pitching for 140 barrels. We'd oxygenate on the first day. You get a fair amount of growth from the first day to the second day. And then you'd oxygenate at half the rate the second day. And it worked great. Everything was cooking down at terminal gravity within 6 or 7 days. We'd dry hop it. And then we'd let it go about 5 days and then crash it and centrifuge it. So everything was great. It wasn't stressing the yeast out too much. We had enough yeast in house to harvest. And it really didn't. It wasn't too bad of a trial doing that.
Okay, so you pitched the yeast with the first batch. You just pitched with the volume for 140 barrels into the 35 barrel batch because you were just going to keep adding more to
keep
it.
feeding it.
Right. Okay.
Yes, correct. So the incremental feeding was really good for the yeast, and like you were exactly right when you said we took the amount of yeast that we needed, and we added it when we did that first knockout. So you're just topping off after those subsequent knockouts, and it worked great.
And there was no. Were you concerned before you tried that the first time? Like, hey, maybe it's not going to ferment out properly. Or there's going to be some weird off flavors. Or I feel like I would be very concerned because I'm stupid that the beer that was fermented first is kind of sitting there. And maybe something weird is happening while the rest of everything is kind of fermenting around it. Is that a legitimate concern, or you guys pretty much knew it was going to work because you're smarter than I am?
I wouldn't say that. Any time that you do something that's different, there's obviously a little bit of anxiety. I've had some experience in my past with doing the high gravity boils and doing several kettle fills to fill a fermenter, and felt fairly confident that we kind of had a plan going in and did some tweaking here and there. But I think we're just in a pretty good situation that I was surrounded by a lot of really smart people as well that gave me support. And
what does that feel like?
Hey, the best way to do it is become head brewer somewhere and then hire a bunch of people that are smarter than you are. It makes you look like a genius.
There you go. Yeah, it's a good strategy.
That's why we all work here.
It's a successful
Which one
band.
of us is the genius?
Fuck, I don't know. All of us.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Who hired you?
Justin.
Well, nobody actually got hired.
Well, that would constitute payment.
Right.
We're pretty much like San Francisco. We're like one of those sanctuary cities where you can just stick around and sleep in the doorway, and no one's ever going to ask you to leave.
Well, they will, but as long as you don't leave,
right,
it's fine.
We just popped a can of the Panther, which is your robust porter, and I'm going to say this is really good. I appreciate a well-done porter that's not acrid. I know a lot of porters aren't, but robust porter can be, and I appreciate that you decided to make this properly.
I appreciate that you're very observant on that point.
Thank you.
And the story behind that beer is that in addition to being, I was a home brewer before I was a commercial brewer, and also involved in the BJC program. I'm a master level judge, but early in my judging career, I was judging porters, and one of the first flights of porters I ever judged, I learned a lot from that judging session about some were just like too acrid and weak, some had too much crystal malt to it, but the best porter I ever had was had that balance between crystal malt, black malt, and then there was that other kind of je ne sais quoi thing in it, French fuckers. But I thought to myself, it's got to be like Munich malt. So I was in a homebrew club at the time and kind of fleshing out this recipe, and actually the homebrew recipe, which this Panther is loosely based on, won third place several years ago at NHC. So I was really, really dedicated to getting that crystal malt balance with the black malt balance with Munich malt, but also the fourth important thing on that is water chemistry. Water chemistry is really important to get that acrid bite off of it. Got to adjust with enough calcium carbonate to get it just right. So it was a really fun experiment. Loved it.
It tastes great.
Yeah.
I think you did a great job, man.
It's got really nice chocolate.
Thank you very much.
Chocolate aroma and flavor. And,
Oh, yeah.
and it's pretty light in color too.
Well,
it's actually brown.
yeah.
It's not black
It is brown.
for a robust porter.
Did you brew it as a lager?
We did brew it as lager. We used the Scottish ale yeast on it.
Yeah, because it's so many people would think, "Oh, I'm getting a porter," and they go, "What's this?"
Right? Yeah, it doesn't have the kind of ale characteristic.
No,
kind of deal.
and it's not thick like a porter. It's just it's light and airy. And it's really nice.
Yeah, man, you guys are making some good beer out there.
Yeah, Jim. All the beers I've had have been really have a lot of like malt character, not like sweetness. I'm talking about malt, biscuity, bready.
Yes,
the good things about the malts that you can taste before they're used.
Yeah,
they have that character. Are you doing anything different? I've talked to brewers that have found that if they cut back on pitch rate and oxygenation rate, that they do it like normal, they just don't overdo it, that there'll be more of the grain flavor preserved in the final beer. Are you doing anything special yourself?
Not really. I think that we're just kind of going by what our experience was on as far as pitch rates and everything. But I think when we want to make a malty beer, we kind of design the recipe to be malty. And I think we're often criticized by the number of IPAs and double IPAs and pale ales, that we brew. But justifiably, those beers sell. It's like as soon as you stop buying them, we'll stop making them. But
you're a marketing company first, please.
Right. Yeah,
exactly.
Otherwise, you're not a company at all.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
One thing I noticed.
But go ahead.
Oh, I was saying, speaking about the all the different malts that you guys are using, I was scrolling through your all the beers that are on your website, and I noticed that your Fest beer lists 2 just pale ale malt as a base, versus your Pilsner actually has Pilsner malt in it. And I was wondering why you chose to do that versus just kind of what the traditional method? Is it just Pilsner malt or Munich?
Well, it's funny because on the in the case of our fest beer called Franz, it's an Oktoberfest ale. We don't use a lager yeast on that. It takes a while to turn these things out, but it's pale ale malt as a base, just because that's what we have silos of. But we do use a fair amount of Munich 1, Munich Dark Type 2, Vienna malt in that one. So the actual specialty malt base in that beer is somewhat traditional, but we use a Scottish ale yeast on it again. That yeast is super versatile. You can ferment it really cold, get very little ale character out of it. Mm-hmm. And our philosophy on that beer is 90% of the people won't know. Of the remaining 10%, 9% won't care. Of the remaining 1%, 0.5% will forgive us, and the other 0.5%, fuck them.
That's a good philosophy, man. I like it.
I mean,
to think we have a
really
philosophy.
Ours is pretty much fuck 99% of them. But yeah.
And the 0.5% that know,
whatever, we don't know.
They're great.
Yeah.
You mentioned you were a homebrewer. Or do you ever go to like a homebrew convention, like AHA, the Homebrew Con?
That's where I met Jim. Yeah.
I have been to the National Homebrewers Conference in the past.
You going
haven't
this year?
had a chance to go out there recently, but I would love to go back. Maybe give a talk or a presentation.
There you go.
Actually, for an introvert, I enjoy public speaking to a certain degree, and just kind of like sharing beers and sharing knowledge with people, because I think that when I share knowledge with people, often with feedback, I learn something at least as much from them as hopefully they learn from me. So it's really a two-way street for me.
That's cool. Well, are you getting out there this year to Baltimore?
I'm not going to be able to make it this year, but I'm going to try and make a point to make it out next year.
Okay. Oh, I wonder where it's going to be next year. Hopefully it's on the West Coast.
Do you know where it's going to be? So we can know?
Hopefully it's going to be in Cincinnati so I can fucking have some more beer.
Oh, yeah.
This is great beer.
Yeah. And we can check out your giant building.
It was here several years ago, back in, I think it was 2005 or 2006.
Yeah, I was there somewhere.
And I know my buddies in Indianapolis are trying to woo them out there. So
that'd be cool.
Tasty, remember that one?
West Coast would be good for me. West Coast is the best coast, so I'd be more than happy to come out there.
That'd be great.
Well, you left without me?
If you guys aren't... if nobody's doing anything, people who are listening, you go to homebrewcon.org, and tickets are on sale right now. This year's AHA conference is going to be awesome, dude. I can't wait for it.
Was it a month away?
We're going to be there. June?
Yeah. It's like,
2 months. We're in April.
Yeah.
Ish.
Yeah.
Well, we're right at the end of April. It's like 5 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's coming up.
My calendar is so freaking full right now. I know exactly what week everything is.
You know when all the fun's going to happen?
Right.
It's all fun. It's just the spots in between that aren't fun.
It's
right.
Full fun.
That's a good way to look at it.
That is a good way.
It's all fun.
You should see my calendar. It's amazing.
Homebrewcon.org, everybody. Check it out. Come out, hang out with us at NHC this year. Jim, we got time for one more beer, man. What should we open?
We already did.
We already did?
Yeah, we did. We opened
the blonde.
We opened the Cougar.
Let's open the Cougar.
I think actually, I think to wrap this up, I think that you should open up the barrel-aged Mastodon, which is the Belgian dark strong.
We can do that too. Would you mind tasting? Okay.
I need another glass then.
Let's chat about the Cougar real fast.
Cougar.
Okay, sure.
There's a box right next to you.
Yeah, Cougar. Just I guess pretty much any craft brewer needs a gateway beer to a certain extent.
Yeah.
And so we tried a bunch from a bunch of different breweries and kind of. So it's funny. This beer has gone through more iterations and recipe changes than anything else in the brewery, and it's kind of driving me a little bit crazy. But so the recipe is actually quite simple. It's 93% 2-row, 7% wheat malt. Use Magnum for bittering, a little bit of crystal malt in the kettle. We use our house ale yeast is we use the equivalent of the we get it from Brewing Science, but it's the equivalent of the White Lab 090, the San Diego yeast. So
okay, yeah,
it's a great yeast for it really ferments down very quickly, very predictable. It dries things out. So This beer is for the people that are a little bit skittish. It's about 20 IBUs, so it's maybe a little bit hoppier than your typical mega brewery beer drinkers might like. But people really like this beer. It sells pretty well.
I like it.
Sells a little bit better. You like it?
Yeah, I really do. There's the grainy malt profile that Tasty was talking about, but again, not a sweet malt, but that kind of biscuity. Yeah. You're drinking something cereal grain based.
It's like bread.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I want to say toasty, but not toasty.
Crusty French. You get all that kind of flavor. Yeah.
Lightly toasted bread.
Yeah. It's great. It's a great flavor. It plays well with the hops, too, for sure.
I noticed on the bottle you say it's aged 6 + 2 months. Is there a reason you didn't just put 8?
Their
20 years.
Their 8 was broken. Do you know that?
Yes. There is a reason for that. So it was aged in a bourbon barrel for 6 months.
Oh,
and then it was moved over to a wine barrel to finish it. So it's one of these successively aged beers, and entered it at GABF. It did not win a medal at GABF, but went on to the medal round. We've entered it at FOBAB. It's gone on to the medal round there. I think it's just a beer that's waiting for its kind of time in the sun. We did enter it at World Beer Cup this year, but just a Belgian dark strong. And after it's done fermenting, age it in bourbon barrels. We're close to Kentucky down here, so we're able to get some high-quality bourbon barrels from Buffalo Trace. Four Roses are our favorite. And then some wine barrels we got from Henry. We kind of had a mixture of Pinot Noir barrels and Zinfandel barrels. And the second brewer that we hired, guy from Block Bottom, his name is Luke. He's decided to move down into the barreling world full-time, so he's working his magic down there. And we won a JBF silver medal for Imperial Stout aged in a sherry barrel, so he must be doing something right.
Yeah, I mean, it says right here on your label, aged 6 months in bourbon and another 2 months in red wine barrels. That's an interesting. That's an interesting combination that I would never have thought of. Yeah. But it totally works, and you can taste the differences, and that's what I like about barrel aged beers that are done really well. They're a beer first, and then there's the barrel character. But this, you have the beer, and then bourbon, and then barrel, and then wine, and then barrel. It's a lot of layers to it, and it kind of can go in order. And I think you guys did it real well. A lot of times people do, let's say, bourbon barrel-aged beer with tons of bourbon, and then oak, and then it's wet, so it might be a beer. And I
still get the dark. I still get the dark strong. It's right there. It's
totally.
It's a dark strong. It's not too oaky. It's not too bourbony. It's great.
It's done really well.
And thinking about it, if it was just say like a stout aged in bourbon and wine barrels, I think I would miss a little bit of the Belgian character that's in this beer.
Yeah.
I think that would leave kind of a hole, and you guys are real smart and planned ahead. So you put a Belgian beer in there.
Yeah, well, and I think the red wine barrel kind of brings back the red dark fruit that's kind of in the Belgian characteristics.
Well, it also takes out that right in your face bourbon barrels.
Maybe it means we're just less time in the bourbon barrel.
It's definitely there.
Yeah.
It's definitely there. That's what I'm saying.
But it's not
I want it as a flavor component, not as the flavor.
Yeah.
And I think you guys did a good Mastodon. Is that your favorite metal band?
Yeah, definitely.
Is it really?
But it is.
Okay, good.
It is.
All right.
All right.
But another.
All right. Are they alive?
To each his own.
He just allowed you to like them. He's like, that's all right.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's all right. That's cool. I think the real philosophy on all of our beers is it's a beer first. So I've had and judge many of these bourbon barrel aged beers. They get thinned out. They're really boozy from the barrels, and I think that's where I enjoy my judging. Judging on the homebrew side, I judge at FOBAB, I judge at GABF, and I learn as much from judging as I do from anything else, because I get to taste some of the best from Firestone Walker and Dogfish Head and the Russian Rivers of the world. It's like you get to try all these awesome beers and say, this is what these guys are doing right. I want to kind of not necessarily mimic what they're doing, but I want to follow their footsteps. And we're about making beer first. And even though we do make the occasional cider as well, I'm more of a fan of like, let's do beer and let's do these other things to complement the beer instead of like, it's a bourbon that just happens to be flavored with a little bit of beer. That's just not really our style.
No, I can do that at home. That's not, and it sounds terrible, actually. Jim, I want to thank you, man. Not only did you send us a bunch of awesome beer, but it was a good time. It's a good time hanging out, man.
Yeah.
It was a really good time. Really been a big fan of you guys for a long time, and appreciate being on here. And next time I'm out in the area, I'd love to come by for a visit. We were out there in August and met up with Nathan and Nicole. Had a good time. We went over to 21A and Drake's, and it was a hotter than hell day, 95-degree day in the Bay Area, but still had a great time. So
we got to get out there too, man.
Make it up there.
Yeah,
come on out.
You guys should have a big beer festival and invite us out. It'd be great.
Well, you definitely represented with everything that you sent out.
Yeah.
Everything was awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
This is like a cornucopia of all the beers you do.
Awesomeness.
Yeah.
It was really good.
We
to
tried to give you a cavalcade of flavors and not tax your guys' palate.
That's great.
I think you did great, man.
Maybe there'll be another NHC in Cincinnati soon.
That'd be good.
You guys are big enough to host it in your building, it sounds like.
Yeah, you could totally do that.
We are big enough to host it in our building.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But you're not dumb enough to host it in
Right,
your building.
yeah. Too smart for that.
No, don't do that.
Don't suggest that to any of the marketing people because they might run with it.
Oh, yeah.
That's just our little secret.
They would be the ones to push it through.
Marketing people.
Yeah.
All right, Jim, I appreciate it, man. Everyone, find out about Rhinegeist. Go to Rhinegeist.com. That's RHINEGEIST.com. And check out their beers. And if you're in Cincinnati, stop by. Slap Jim on the butt for me. Everything was great. I really appreciate the time, man.
I appreciate you guys having me on here, and look forward to chatting with you guys again sometime soon.
Sounds good. Thanks, Jim.
Have a great night, guys.
All right, man.
Thank
You too. Bye. Awesome beers, dude. Awesome.
Yeah.
And tons of them. We got a bunch more. There's
Right.
got
we haven't finished a couple of them.
barley wine aged in bourbon barrel. I'm not even letting the genie out of that bottle.
What are we even going to do with all this extra beer?
I'm going to have
Well, I produced this show, so I'm taking them home.
I'm going to have Go Fish Night at my house.
Are you talking
Go
again?
Fish Night.
Wow.
We have an Imperial Coffee Stout.
One of them I'm going to
to
break over Doc's head.
There's a Rye Pale Ale still left.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And then,
Why don't we get to that one?
I don't know, because he wanted to talk about some beers that I think really showcased what they're trying to do there.
We got a good sample.
The last
we did.
Mastodon, man. Jesus.
Oh, that was a good one.
That was amazing.
For an 11% beer?
It was good. It was really good, man.
Yeah.
Let me see. Before we go to break, I do have another live read. Speaking of amazing labels, which, by the way, I like their little logo. It's like a skull, but like a drop of beer.
Yeah, what's the Rhine?
Yeah, it's sort of.
Oh,
the ghost.
Right.
Oh, it's a ghost.
Ghost of the Rhine River, I think,
Yes.
is kind of where their name comes from.
Okay. Well, there you go. I'm scared now.
Let me do that in German. Ooh.
Oh, no.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it makes sense. You guys remember last year the Homebrew Label Awards that were sponsored by GrogTag? They kind of kicked off. Well, they're back. They're accepting entries right now. They say if you like making labels for your handcrafted awesomeness and wish more people could see how great you are, then check this out. GrogTag, the makers of custom reusable labels, and craftbeerandbrewing.com are hosting the first ever National Homebrew Label Awards. That's actually the second ever.
Are these only beer labels, or can we have labels in cider?
You can have labels in cider. You can put anything in cider, whatever you want to do.
As long as she's okay with
it's
it.
A great
as long as
format.
your lips are fine with that.
It's a great format. The top 10 labels will be featured at the NHC here in not here, but out in Baltimore to a bunch of attendees. Anyway, blah 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 blah. They're going to have over $2,500 in prizes to be awarded. So check them out. You go to homebrewlabelawards.com. The entry deadline is I wrote it down and I forget what it is now.
Make up a date.
Why'd you write it down?
Tomorrow. So get going.
It's tomorrow. So do it now.
Oh.
I think it's like the end of May. You have about a month.
Which
to
gives you
enter
like
beer labels.
week and a half or 8 days before NHC starts. So, yeah, that's probably about right.
Yeah, for sure, because they need to tabulate all the things. But the earlier that you get your entries in, the more votes you get. And that's what it is. So,
But they run a great booth anyway. It's just fun being over at their booth.
It's awesome. Yeah, the GrogTech folks are awesome, and the Homebrew Label Awards is a really cool idea. So check them out. Enter now. If you don't have any labels, that's the beauty of it. You can go to grogtag.com, of course, and craft something that you want. You can either use their templates, or you can just make your own. Things that are funny. Don't worry about if it's not graphically awesome, because I was helping them out last year doing this, and there were some pretty terrible ones that made it through because they were funny.
Yeah.
So humor definitely wins, man.
You don't have to be good at drawings.
You don't have to be good at drawings or pronouncing.
Or, Justin JP, the half label.
You can do a half label. That'd be
unicorn
awesome,
and rainbow.
Oh, yeah. That'd be sweet. There's a bunch of sponsors. Like I said, Craft Beer and Brewing.com, morebeer.com, our favorite sponsor here on the show. One of them, at least. They're in there for sure. And there's going to be a bunch of different prizes. They have the Grog Tag folks are really good at, I should say the Homebrew Label Awards folks are really good at giving prizes away, man. You guys can win some seriously cool shit. I'm not joking. So check it out. Go to homebrewlabelawards.com. That's homebrewlabelawards.com. And even if you don't have anything to enter, just go there and vote. Be part of the process anyways, man.
Exercise your right.
It is your right.
It's your civic duty, actually.
It is your duty. It's your stinky duty.
Yeah.
Okay, I did that.
My duty doesn't stink.
Well, sure it does.
It's duty.
Okay, we're going to take a break.
Please.
And then when we come back, we're going to have more live reads, which is going to be awesome. Then we're going to have some beer news.
Sure we are.
And we're going to do a Twitter game. And we're going to do a whole bunch of stuff. Thanks for sticking with us, everyone. It's the session. We'll be right back.
Monday's session.
Monday session.
Hey.
You're listening to the Brewcasters. On the Brewing Network.
That's it. I've had it. I am never putting hops in my beer again.
What? Why?
It's just too ridiculous. Insane prices, stupid contracts, high shipping costs, crappy selection.
Dude, you need PicoBrew.
PicoBrew will rock your f***ing face right the f*** off your f***ing skull. $5 shipping to all 50 states, plus fantastic international rates get you low prices on PicoBrew's great selection of hops and more. Whether you're a home brewer, a pro brewer, or a homebrew shop owner, PicoBrew can get you the hops you need in increments big and small, single orders, spot buys, or full contracts. And there's only one place to join the uber special secret elite bare bones club, where you'll get the best deals anywhere.
Holy shit!
NicoBrew.com. NIKOBREW. NicoBrew, your bare bones buddy in the brewing business.
Do you know the 3 most important rules in brewing? Sanitation, sanitation, and sanitation. And no one does it better than 5-Star Chemicals. 5-Star knows sanitation. You can only sanitize clean equipment. And 5-Star knows how to clean, too. For craft brewers and home brewers, 5-Star has what you need to keep your fermenters, serving tanks, kegs, and draft lines sparkling and free of any beer-spoiling bacteria. PBW, caustic, acid cleaners, Star San, SaniClean, lubricants and defoamers, pH stabilizers, and more. 5-Star Chemicals has cleaning supplies, safety supplies, heat exchangers, pumps, hoses, and valves. And 5-Star is proud to offer eco-friendly products that exceed customer expectations. If you have a cleaning problem, you need the 5-Star solution. Visit 5starchemicals.com or call 800-782-7019. 800-782-7019 and get the 5-Star treatment today. If you work in retail sales, the restaurant industry, or are a new craft beer enthusiast, or you know someone who is, you have got to check out Beer 101. Beer 101 is an online course created for anyone wanting a quick introduction to the vast world of craft beer. Beer 101 covers the history of beer, brewing ingredients and processes, vital stats like ABV, SRM, IBU, and gravity, styles, tasting, glassware, and pairing beer with food. The Beer 101 course is offered by the Brewers Association at craftbeer.com, also home to the truly awesome Beer Style Finder, a visual guide to every beer style. Quickly play with color, bitterness, and alcohol content to interactively explore the entire world of beer styles with a gorgeously designed interface to your favorite beverage. The new Beer 101 course and new Beer Style Finder are only available at craftbeer.com. Craftbeer.com, celebrating the best of American beer.
Williams Brewing is your online resource for prompt delivery of quality home brewing supplies. Since 1979, Williams Brewing has offered the finest equipment and the freshest ingredients, backed by the best customer service in the business. Do you like to mash using efficient fly sparging, but would like an easy way to heat your strike and sparge water? Enter the new Brewer's Edge electric mash water heater, a plug-in, anywhere, precisely controlled heater for strike and sparge water. Ditch the fumes and second burner and make mashing easy. Go to williamsbrewing.com today and browse their vast selection. That's williamsbrewing.com. Orders placed by 4 p.m. Pacific Time weekdays ship the same day. Brewing is easy the Williams way.
Are you looking for a simple brewing system that's great for all grain brewing, but everything on the market seems to be full of compromises? Blickman Engineering has the answer. The Blickman Brew Easy All Grain Brewing System. The Brew Easy is a complete system with easy upgrades and a beautiful compact design, perfect for any size brewing location. At its core, the Brew Easy is built on 2 gorgeous Blickman Boilermaker brew kettles, a high-temperature March pump, and either a top-tier gas burner or the new Boil Coil electric heater. The Brew Easy adapter lid allows the pots to stack on top of each other, forming an efficient, strong, and compact brewing setup that comes in 5, 10, and 20-gallon batch sizes. Upgrade your Brew Easy system with full automated control by adding a Blickman Tower of Power temp controller, and make moving around easy with the Blickman Kettle Cart. The Brew Easy is modular. If you already own a Boilermaker kettle, you can build your Brew Easy by purchasing just the modules you need. The new Brew Easy all-grain brewing system. See it today at BlickmanEngineering.com and brew with Blickman quality on your new Brew Easy.
You're tuned into the session. Because life's too short to listen to crappy radio.
All right, everyone. Thanks for sticking around. Got our last break. We're gonna do some fun stuff. We're gonna do some beer news. We're gonna do the Twitter game. We're gonna talk a little bit about Doc Brewing. Doc brewed a little bit on the PicoBrew this weekend, and I thought that was pretty cool, man. I think it's for the Brewcaster Challenge with him and Tasty.
When do we get to the fun stuff, though?
That was it. That's about as fun as it gets, man.
Oh, great.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to it.
You sound like it.
Good.
Thank you.
I'm trying. I'm trying real hard to have emotion in my voice.
And if you want to try real hard to find a great place to buy a bunch of cool ingredients and, more importantly, a bunch of Blickman products.
I thought you were going to segue into the Adam and Eve read.
Not
if
yet.
you're trying to get real hard.
Not yet. Go to Great Fermentations. They have the largest catalog of said Blickman products. They have the same-day shipping on some of main items. Their staff is some of the best trained in using Blickman products. And let's see, what else do they say? They say, they have a BN Army code. That's new.
What's the code?
It's BN Army 50. BNARMY 50. You get $1 shipping on all orders over $50 through the end of May. It excludes bulk grains because those are friggin' expensive to ship, dude.
Oh, great. $1 shipping? I'll buy 200 pounds of grain.
Yeah. We tried that on More Beer once, and people took advantage of it because it's so fucking expensive to ship.
I might have been one of those guys.
Bulk grain, maybe. So it doesn't work. But anything else other than bulk grains, everybody, you can get $1 shipping if you spend $50 and use the code BNARMY50 over at Great Fermentations. All right, that's cool. Okay, we got that. Doc was supposed to be in here, but he's getting a beer, so I'm going to let him slide on that one.
Here
comes
Bevo.
No, it's Bevo's coming in. Oh, she's getting my glass of water.
You're not Doc.
Thanks, dude.
Oh, look.
What?
You guys are the only ones here.
Yeah, it's just like the Seven Still show.
Yeah, it's all right. It's all right. We're trying to do this 3-break format whenever I host the shows because I think we can jam everything in. And I think some of the older generations a little thrown off.
Right. You give all the satisfaction Justin gives in 4 breaks, In 3.
But in 3, yeah, for sure. Hey, Tasty, did you ever brew the Brewcaster Challenge beer that you're doing with Doc?
No, I haven't. Is it
You
time?
haven't done that yet? Because
Doc
I know Doc did it yesterday.
Oh, well, then that's my time to kick in action.
Yeah.
I got the ingredients right there.
You know to brew it, right?
Okay.
I can do whatever I want within the fruit, vegetable, spice
it's
beer?
a fruit and vegetable beer?
Yeah, fruit, vegetable,
I don't know.
spice.
I
don't remember.
I did all the other styles except these, and so I have no idea
it's,
what it is.
Fruit, vegetable.
It's been so long,
spice.
I don't remember what it is.
That's part of the problem, dude.
Yeah.
I got the recipe.
So it's fruit, vegetable, spice beer?
Yeah. So
okay.
I'll probably do,
So it's summertime. What spices?
I tell you
do
the
use?
style, but then when you went to judge it, you know which one's mine. I think Doc already did that.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So that's why we shouldn't even know what style beer it is until we're tasting it.
I think you guys talked about it last.
Oh, really? Okay. Okay.
I guess because then we would know unless they're doing the same style base beer.
Yeah, there's so many things you could do.
Yeah, that's true. I don't think Doc said what style he was.
No,
doing.
I don't think so either. But maybe he did actually. But that's fine. I forget.
I don't remember it.
I just want to
that
chat with him a little
is
bit
a
about.
very good attribute. I like that.
Right? Yeah. So as long as we make sure he doesn't
I don't
say
feel
it tonight.
so senile when everybody else forgets too.
Yeah.
Oh,
well, we're not competing, so you care a little bit more than we do.
Well, I thought I'd be
Just
funny
a little
and make a style that everybody think would be Doc's.
Like
That'd
what?
be-
Like
now.
Well, like I'd do a spiced
Kolsch or
Doppelbock or a lager or something like that.
Doppelbock.
Lager with vanilla or something.
Oh.
A lager with. Okay. Does
Yeah.
that scream Doc?
I don't know.
Well,
I don't know
lager.
either.
It doesn't sound like me, does it?
Just,
It's only,
Yeah.
it's
you're right. You're right.
It's a buy thing, like one of the
Yeah.
others.
Right. No, you're absolutely
Whatever.
right.
What if you just did like
It doesn't
a
matter.
grapefruit sculpin clone?
In fact, it was
That's
just
a fruit
over
beer.
it.
That's a fruit beer.
Yeah, sure. Everybody go like, yeah, that's what Doc would make, sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that would totally be it.
Well, no, I'm not saying Casey copying Doc would do
I gotta
that,
go
but I'm
back.
saying that's how you could get around the fruit
Well, it's not
spice
too late. Okay, I'll make that
vegetable
beer. I'll make that beer.
And then you might actually want to drink the rest of the keg.
So I just peeked through the window.
Well, I'm
Doc's just fucking chatting out there.
Well, yeah, he's Mrs.
Doc is giving dental advice. Wait, who's he talking to?
I don't know. I can't
He's talking
see.
to you.
But I told
Oh,
him
no.
specifically he had 30 seconds to go get a beer and come back in because I need him in here.
He was doling out dental
He
advice.
still is, it looks like.
Awesome.
Lupe, is that what Doc's doing? You want to
Yeah.
fill in for Doc right now?
How Doc's brew go?
Yeah, how did Doc's brew day go? What an asshole. Not you, but Doc.
He's a man of the people.
Do you want me to go get him?
No, fuck him.
I can just go, like,
That's fine.
You're the producer, Bevo.
RBF him.
What does that mean?
Resting bitch face. I can just go out there and glare at him until he comes in.
You're good at that.
You are good at that.
It's just the way my face looks.
It's not, though.
It is.
It's not. Like right now, you don't.
Well, because I'm talking to you and I like you.
Oh,
With years
Well,
of practice, maybe
Right
that's
now,
just how it looks.
maybe that's what it is. You need more practice. I don't know.
Yeah, I'll make
whatever.
that beer.
You make that beer?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, that's
Oh.
good. Wait, was that only the second break,
Uh,
or was that the third break?
oh no, that was the second one.
That was the second
'Cause we
one.
only did the one right before Jim came
Nice. We got another break in us.
on. Oh,
Promised me that would be it.
so much for that half an hour.
I lied.
Okay, but we can't go a whole hour again.
We can't do that.
No, we can't.
I mean, we can.
Yeah.
I
Well,
don't care.
look, I'll be honest with you.
Just give me enough beer, I'll be fine.
I'm struggling right now because I had a whole
Right.
5 minutes playing
Well-
with Doc, and
well-
now I'm like, I can't just
Oh, we
string
need
together
something?
all the rest
Yeah.
of my live reads.
Doc might be back by the next break.
Oh God, I can't. I don't know why. I'm set up for failure in this company. What the fuck?
You're doing great.
I hate my life. Tasty,
All right.
how are you doing?
Doing great. I'll be out in, this weekend I'll be at the Boonville Beer Festival up in
Oh, that's right. That's
Henderson
this weekend.
Valley. I'll be holding court down there.
That's a huge brew fest. Is,
Yeah.
it
It's
growing,
huge.
or are they still kind of trying to
Well,
let it
it's
grow?
sort of limited by the number of breweries that they can fit in, so I think, and they limit the number of people. It sells out.
Do you stay at the Brewers camp?
Yeah,
Or do you
at
have
the
to stay
Brewers.
with the lay people?
No, I used to stay at the Brewers camp.
Oh,
I don't know
okay.
why you'd even ask that
That's
question.
right. That's the party. I'm like the mayor down there, I think. I have my own event
Yeah.
in there,
Oh, nice.
Whatever.
What is that?
People come by. It's just
The dab-
I put up the Tasty's
The
banner.
dab challenge.
Tasty's banner, and I have a beer menu. I get people to donate.
Oh, so
And so
Yeah,
people,
the
people come
commercial
by
beer
and we
or
we
homebrew?
chat it up, and it's the crowd I gather that makes it the thing. Like all the other brewers are there too. So,
Right,
yeah.
right.
It's
So
fun.
you,
Nice.
so you have your own little tent.
Yeah.
So you have your own beer fest at a beer fest.
well, in the Brewers camp.
Kind of, yeah.
in the Brewers camp, which is the party. To me, here's how I do it. I get there early on Friday, start the party, get set up. Friday night's like a really good party, right?
Yeah.
That's
awesome. Right, because everyone's just getting there. They're
Everybody's
not
in
drunk.
good shape. They're not like hungover from the previous day, or they may be, but most people aren't. And then, like the next morning, everybody's screwed up. Then you go to the festival for 4 hours.
Yeah.
Well, that you don't want to drink too much at, because the next party is Saturday night.
Right. Yeah.
It's all at the campground. It's all about the campground. Not the
It's all about the Brewers campground. Well, actually, I should say I've never been on the plebe side.
I've been
but
there.
I hear that's pretty awesome too.
It's pretty cool too.
Yeah.
No, all the drunk chicks.
Are you plebing?
Are you plebing?
Do people maintain Saturday during the day better than at Firestone? Because at Firestone, Friday was a rager, and then Saturday was pretty mellow compared to Friday at
People
Firestone.
that work the event, the brewers, they're ready to party Saturday night.
It seems like it gets over really quick. Most beer fests are 4 hours, right?
Right.
And some seem like they last like a long time. The Hop Grenade one over here.
Yeah. By the way, it's not the Hop Grenade one. It's the Brewing
Brewing,
Network.
yeah.
Right. Don't forget who you work for.
It's the best I could roll off my tongue at one time.
Follow the money. Follow the money. That's what I'm doing.
How about we just call it
Can I
Beverly's
switch?
Beer Festival?
Beverly's Beer Fest. The Bevo Fest.
Right. Oh, Beef
Oh.
Fest.
Beef Fest.
Beef Fest.
We'd get a whole different crowd
that
coming
just
to the
got
Beef Fest.
so much creepier. My desire to be
And
there
it went
just
bam,
down.
bam, bam.
I can't wait to see the T-shirt
So,
for
but this one just goes so much faster. It's like, wow.
Yeah, it does.
We're done?
Yeah.
Go home.
Yeah, get out of here. Get out of here right now.
And by home, we mean back to the Brewers.
Well, sometimes it's a bus. And people are, we've had people running for the bus.
I take the pedicab every time.
You guys doze or whatever?
Yeah,
Doze?
when we've driven up there and driven all the way back.
In one day?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Not smart.
Well,
but they had a bus driver.
Smart.
Bus driver, bus driver.
Yeah.
But,
but windy roads?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know, man. Because that road up there is pretty windy.
It is. Yes, it is. And don't sit in the back of the bus.
You have some chunder going to that?
Oh, yeah. Under chunder.
So, Doc, now that you're here.
Yes, sir.
You brewed on the PicoBrew.
Yes, I did.
Last weekend. And I want to talk to you about it because you had never done it before and you were giving me a bunch of shit about not telling you properly how to use it, which we thoroughly debunked. I don't know.
I don't think so. Here.
Talk to me about it.
Here, use it.
I think it's time for a break, actually.
Stop it. Stop with your lies.
Here
Stop
it is. You know what? You can find all this shit online.
Yeah, that's what I did. I actually left it on the porch for you, and then I shut my door. And you knocked on the door, and I parted the blind.
I think
and looked at you and snapped
I think
them
there's
shut
a
again.
cat in it. And you're going to adopt this, too.
That's where Saki went.
Yeah, my cats may or may not have given birth in there. But cat placenta filters, it's a whole thing.
Yeah.
So tell me, how did you like it? I was actually really curious because you're kind of a gadget guy also.
Oh, this thing...
He's broken.
Okay.
This thing.
I had great expectations for it because of a lot of reasons. And I had a lot of... because it was the set it and forget it kind of thing.
Yeah, for sure.
The Ron Popeil.
Well, because you
the Ron Popeil,
you squirrel out a lot. You're easily distracted by a bunch of different shit because you're a busy guy.
Yeah, so
this helps you with
I
that.
had the same thing working up to this, getting it all ready for the PicoBrew.
Yeah.
And once I got it going, it was, set it and forget it. And I always knew I was going to do a back-to-back brew because it's 2.5 gallons.
Okay, so before you get into the brew, we were talking a little bit while you were out doling out free dental advice or whatever.
Talking down the natives.
Yeah,
yes.
Not saying the style of the beer, because when we go to judge it, we don't want to know what you brewed versus what Tasty brewed.
Well, exactly.
Okay, so when you talk about it, talk about the process, but I'm just telling you, don't let the cat out of the bag early and tell
I never
us.
was.
Okay, good. Okay, good. Just
Fine.
checking.
Fine.
He's smart.
So, there's a lot of online stuff. So you're looking at formulating your own recipe.
Yes.
And what I don't like is when they kind of curtail you. Oh, they shoehorn you into the corner. You can only do this mash temperature, but you can do advanced stuff in there.
You don't like working within a set of parameters. You like being free, Doc.
Kind of like the divorce thing. Yeah.
He's on a whole trip of being free and doing what he wants to do.
Oh, exactly.
Right.
So,
Paid a big price for it. He's gonna
but
enjoy
it was pretty easy to design a simple recipe.
Yeah, well, because they don't really do that. You can kind of do whatever you want. It's pretty open.
But it does curtail you a little bit. But they do have an advanced setting, and they do have a forum where everybody that's done it before, so you can like talk to them or see what they've done.
Yeah,
that's all good.
How was your process? How was the day actually using it?
After gathering everything up, and I did a lot of looking online, reading that manual 5 times. Now that I've done it, it's going to be a breeze.
Yeah. You have to give it back, though. It's mine.
It's in my car. You're getting it back tonight.
Okay, good.
Tonight.
Okay.
And cleaner than I got it.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
So, but I want to do a back-to-back period because it's going to be a 5-gallon batch no matter what.
Okay.
And the in-between, amazing. You basically pull it out, dump all the grain out, you rinse it out, get it kind of clean, and you run a rinse cycle.
Okay. Oh, you ran a rinse
You don't need to, though, between batches, you think?
No, I don't think so. But, it's stock.
Who are you talking to?
Right, it's stock.
It's easy. You just press the button. It does a rinse cycle.
I have other things to do. So
go out.
Throw it in, let it rinse.
Rub one out.
Pretty much, yeah. So I get it back in, and then I get a patient call me.
Oh, now we're making money.
I need to see you. And I go, and I couldn't see it. This is Sunday night, last night. What could I do? I couldn't see him Monday morning because I already had my whole morning booked. He's flying out on a plane on a business trip at 11. Okay, I can see you at 9 tonight. I'll drive into the office and see you. Give me a little time. I get this thing set up.
Oh, you timed it so you could do it.
I timed it so I could set it. I got it in, got it set up, drove out there, drove back. It was in its boil cycle. Everything was good because you don't need to be back until the cooling cycle because then you got to pull the keg koozie off of it and put some ice on the thing and all that. You're not needed until that point. And you can look at it online, what it's doing and everything else.
Where maybe it reset or shut down or something happened.
Right.
You can find all that online. You don't have to be right there.
So, frankly, I love the thing. You can set it up. It doesn't make a big mess except for at the end when it foams too much for me.
Yeah.
But you can put a blow off on that, blow it off into something else. It'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
Here's what I'm thinking, Doc. You get a minion and say, hey, here's like a whole bunch of grains. Sit here all day and make me 20 gallons of beer. It's like because it's easy to do the reset, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You have a high schooler. What's he doing on a Saturday?
Oh God! I don't think he got off the couch. He had a 6-foot radius that he moved all weekend.
So you put the PicoBrew within that 6-foot radius.
Yeah. Tell him he's running it. Press the button.
So we got
keep.
Yeah. So, Dad, what's that smell? That's what I got out of it. That's the most I got out of him.
Because that's the
you're
first
brewing
time,
inside now.
Yeah, for the first time.
Oh.
Which was not lost on me.
Okay.
The fact that it was a guilt-free brew session.
Yeah, it was your first time in the house.
It was my first guilt-free brew session, period, because
we're going to apologize for not paying attention to something else.
A year since I moved out.
Yeah.
Hadn't brewed since.
Okay.
But the fact I'm back in the kitchen. Yeah. And I got
in the kitchen.
I'm in the kitchen again. I got that all done. This does not make a mess.
Yeah, it's
Really
right.
There's no place to make a mess.
It's all contained.
It's a drip here, a drip there. There's no spillage, no nothing. It just goes.
Yeah.
At the end,
mm-hmm.
I was tired because it was my first 2 with them. But I bet the next time,
it'll
be so easy. Oh, the best thing was between the 2 brews.
Yeah.
I don't have to go back-to-back brews. So easy.
Really?
I pull this thing out. I just get it. I rinse all the old grains out of it.
Okay.
And I run it again.
Because you're going into a 5-gallon conical.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, okay.
And I want it to go minimum time in between. If you've done back-to-back with any kind of all-grain system, oh, shit. You're rinsing everything out.
That's a pain.
Pain in the ass.
Yeah.
This was ultimately easy. I knew going in, I'm back-to-back. So.
Okay.
And it was...
There you go.
It was great.
So easy. I didn't mess up my kitchen.
And it's your kitchen.
It's my kitchen.
Right.
There's nobody there.
You can mess
at
it
me.
up if you want to.
Nobody bitched at me.
Just your lazy teenager going, what's that smell?
Oh, that's
you go like, fuck you.
That's the worst I got. Shut up. You haven't even done the dishes yet.
Exactly.
Is it, what's that smell? Isn't it that's a bad smell? Like
Well-
it fucking stinks?
Well, frankly, I've been trying to get him to take a shower all weekend.
Yeah, it's you.
And yeah, it's a little stanky. But this thing is just...
It's a good smell.
Some people poo-poo it because it's like, oh, it's kind of hands-off.
Yeah.
It's not. It's still an all. It's still all grain.
Yeah, it's not a shortcut. It's a little hands-off, but it's not. But
I
it's
like
not a
the
shortcut
hands-off
at the
thing.
same time.
I dreamt
Exactly.
of a wort maker for a long time. There should be something that just makes wort one after the other.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm talking about like continuous making it, like some sort of like cylinder where there's grains being pushed in one end and time to get out the other. They're spent and there's I don't know. Like you could feel like I could do a 10-barrel batch out of this thing that does like a gallon a minute or something.
Yeah, it doesn't kick off the grain when it's done or anything like that. But
it's easy because there's not that much.
But it's an all grain system, which is awesome, and it is automated to the point where it's set it and forget it. I have some tweaks that I want to do to it that kind of piss me off.
Like what?
I didn't like the foam coming off the top. I had it in a big. I could have it in my laundry sink, which worked really well because it's about the same height as the PicoBrew. But I could fill it up with cold water, change out the cold water, put ice water in there.
Oh yeah.
But I still want to run, a chiller in the middle of that.
Yeah, you can definitely do that.
But with 2.5 gallons, I'm really worried about chiller loss.
Yeah. Well, that's why they don't. That's why it doesn't really come with one.
Yeah,
because there's a little, but it'll push it out.
But I've got that really small diameter stainless steel coil.
Yeah.
So it's going to happen.
Of course, it's going to happen.
But that because I've got it to cool down a lot faster. But still, it's too hands on with the cooling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. When I do it, it's I put it in a bucket with some water and let that water get hot. Dump it out. Let that water get hot. Dump it out. Then I start putting some ice packs.
The keg?
Yeah, the keg. Yeah,
okay.
Then put some ice packs in.
Colder
switch
water.
that out. Then ice, and I can get it down in about half an hour.
And so that's what I've done. But it's this big sink. It's right next to where I have the thing.
Yeah,
and
utility sink kind of thing.
Too much hands on.
So
if we're gonna make this all hands on,
right.
I wanted this thing to. You can easily hook it into your chiller.
Yeah.
In
just put some quick disconnects.
Yeah, right. In the line.
Break the line and pop.
It would be so much.
You'd have the yeast in the keg already.
You went from worrying about not being hands on enough to now complaining about how hands on you have to be in order to chill.
My brew house was pretty hands off.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Now you're back to
ding, ding, ding. Push a couple buttons. Three-way switch, and that's. I had to be there for that, but it's still. I didn't lift things and pour things. It was all pumped this and that. And I missed that.
Yeah, I would too if I had it at one time.
But this thing, the only big complaint I have about this thing is 2.5 gallons.
Right.
Yeah.
If it was 5 gallons,
you buy 10 of them.
But wouldn't need to. But and maybe I need to buy 2 now.
Maybe
that's true. If you had 2, then you could make 5 gallons.
I bought a 5-gallon conical just so I could brew with this thing.
Well, see, or you just make a 2.5 gallon conical.
No. No.
Why would you do that?
So
that's a dumb idea.
And actually, with the back-to-back brews, it was actually kind of good because the first brew came out a little too under gravity, which is what I wanted.
Okay.
For the beer I'm brewing.
Okay.
So I'm not giving you any clue for.
Please don't do that. Thank you very much.
And the second one, I went online.
Yeah.
I changed it, and it came back as
he's on AOL. That's what sounded going online.
Jason Petros, whatever. It was the next level of the recipe.
Okay.
And so it synced with that.
Yes, it does. Yes,
because I changed parameters.
You changed the name and all that kind of shit.
No, I didn't
Okay.
change any of that.
Okay.
All I did was change whatever
you did to adjust.
Yeah.
We'll leave it at that because I don't want to give it away.
So I adjusted grain. Too
much work.
How much grain was in there? Because with the second one, I made it a lot more fermentable.
Okay.
Cool. Wait, change the temperature. No, is that what you did?
The first one was the 140. And then the second one was like 143, but I used a lot more grain in the second one.
Okay.
So they've been blended. They oxygenated at 2 a.m. and pitched, and they were pumping at 6 a.m. when I got up.
That's good.
Wow, great.
That's 3 hours of sleep.
I'm good.
How much do you think Doc sleeps usually?
Yeah, Monday's his day off, and he gets off.
That's speaking of getting off, Tasty.
Oh, here it is.
It's the moment you've all been waiting for.
I have been waiting for this, actually.
Oh, here we go.
I'm going to try to be quiet.
Get in the mood.
If you can be quiet through this live read, I'll be really surprised.
I don't think so.
Can you use the old intro? What was it? Guys,
you want me to use the old one? The old one?
What was the first line?
All right, we'll do
What was
one.
that?
What is it? I'm looking at it right now.
Gentlemen or something. Or boys and girls.
Are you getting
Fellas.
Are you getting enough?
I think it's fellas.
Fellas?
Yeah, let's see what it is.
That's our audience.
Let's see what
Yeah,
our
right.
audience
That's
is
a Jerry
fellas.
Lewis movie.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question, Beverly. She's glaring at me because she's read it. Let me ask you a question, Bev.
read it.
Are you getting enough?
Yes.
Oh, girl, are you
But I bet
getting
you love
enough?
more, right?
Enough of your bullshit.
Hey, Lupe.
Sure.
Lupe. Let me ask you a question, Lupe. Are you getting enough?
Oh, yeah.
I bet you like more,
Right here in
right?
the room.
Always.
Well, AdamandEve.com wants to give you more, Lupe. So you go to AdamandEve.com, and for a limited time only, you'll receive 50% off just about any one item. When you select your one item at 50% off, you'll also receive 3 free adult DVDs plus a free exclusive gift. And to top it all off, they'll even throw in free shipping on your entire order. So they finally said what the exclusive gift is.
Oh.
Whoa.
Are you ready for this? Fuck. It's called the Clit Bumper.
All right.
That's for her. That all sounds
Do
good.
not point to me and say that's for her.
That's for her.
It's called the Clit Bumper.
I bet it is.
Let's be professional. It gives you the ideal pleasure ring for couples. That's what it is. It's the ideal pleasure ring for couples. He will love the way the love ring lets him stay harder for longer. Okay.
Wait, so is it a clip bumper or is it a love ring?
It's a ring.
And
I don't know.
JP, have you ever used
Don't
a ring?
question the live read.
JP, have
What?
you ever used a ring on your cock?
I've never heard of this, such a thing.
It's torture.
Ever,
Why would you do
ever.
that?
I just use my wedding ring because it just slides right.
Right over
Well,
there.
he'll love the way. He'll love
It's
the way.
about the
it lets
same
him
size.
stay- It will increase the strength of the orgasm. What she'll love, Beverly, is she'll love the way the pleasure. I can't say your name and say this. Tasty.
Thank you. Jesus.
Tasty. She'll love the way the pleasure nubs thrill her sweet spots.
Oh my god.
All of
Bills
them?
are sweet.
Can't
All
resist
of
those
them.
pleasure nubs.
How big is this nub?
The unique bumper.
And how many
I don't
sweet
want
spots?
I don't want it to embarrass me.
The unique bumper will stimulate her clitoris. It's soft and stretchy for a comfortable fit, made of premium silicone. It's waterproof, which I would imagine it would be, and it's compatible with
Big
all
silicone.
water-based lubes. AdamandEve.com and use code BNARMY at checkout. That's BNARMY
Please.
at AdamandEve.com. Use code BNARMY at AdamandEve.com.
I'm going to check out that product.
Yeah, so
Separate.
that's the new
What's that thing
life
called
version.
again? What's that thing
It's
called?
called the
Pleasurizer
It's
nub?
called the
Nubber?
clit bumper.
The
Clit
clit bumper.
How have I made it this long without pleasure nubs in my life?
Who's to say that you've made it?
Oh, I guess not. I haven't been making
That's
it.
the whole
That's
idea.
The problem.
You can up your game here with this stuff.
Oh.
Seriously.
Oh, yeah.
Now I'm interested.
Someone in the chat room was like, "Yeah, the kids are on the couch," and I had to mute it because of that live.
Oh.
Dude, I've been swearing up a storm since 6:30. Like,
Yeah.
Oh, they hear that.
Sorry.
They're okay with fuck, but pleasure nubs.
No, okay, most parents don't scream at each other and use the word clit.
Yeah, clit.
But that's what it is. It's a scientific. It's science, Doc, and I forbid you.
Human anatomy.
Isn't that science?
Works for me.
See, there you go. All right, what we're going to do? We're going to take a break and cool down in this room.
I'm going to use it a little later.
Yeah.
It's a little.
A little bumpy here.
I'm going to go to the bathroom.
Yes, please go to the bathroom. When we come back, we're going to do the Twitter game. We're going to do some beer news.
And we're out?
And then we're going to go home. Doc has things to do.
Oh, I do.
It's the session, everyone. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Brewcasters on the Brewing Network.
With over 20 years of experience making world-class craft beer and more than 100 gold medals in international competitions, Moylan's Brewing Company is not just a pretty face in craft beer. Just ask Brendan Moylan.
What do we got here? The beer of the hour. Moylan's, gotta love that big M. It's like a sign of awesomeness. Woo-hoo! It's got an extra kick to it. Let's pour this bad boy. Oh, yeah. Oh, Moylan's. The end of the night when the kids are finally in bed, the wife's in bed, nobody's bothering your ass anymore. That's Moylan's time. Moylan's is for you. Yeah. It's to help you out. Yeah. It helps me out.
What?
Well, because it's freaking awesome. Northern California brewed. It's brewed with love.
With love?
Oh, yeah. Tremendous. And it's always best where?
Moylan's.
You gotta try it on tap at Moylan's in Novato. They're freaking awesome. Not only because I own the brewery, because I love the beer.
Cheers.
Boom.
Kilt Lifter Scotch Ale takes big beers to a whole new level with rich malt balanced perfectly with delicate hops, and now comes in 4-pack tall boy cans so you can take the party on the go. Or come to the brewery, take a tour, and try any of Moylan's fresh creations right from the source. Check them out at moylans.com.
Your support of the Brewing Network means everything to us. We couldn't produce shows without you. And we love giving you something extra for that support. Like Brew Your Own magazine. You already know it's a great brewing magazine full of recipes, equipment how-tos, discussions of beer styles, and brewing techniques. Whether you're new to brewing and just starting out or you're an old pro, you'll always learn something from the articles in Brew Your Own. Plus, there are amazing special issues like plans for building a Brutus 10 system, 250 classic clone recipes, and the Homebrewer's Answer Book. Brew Your Own magazine and BYO.com are awesome resources for any brewer. Whether for yourself or as a gift, when you subscribe or resubscribe from the Brewing Network homepage, you directly support programs like this. Get a great magazine and support the Brewing Network. Subscribe to Brew Your Own right from the BrewingNetwork.com.
Hey, it's Brandon again from Drake's Brewing Company. We've gotten together with our friends at Bike East Bay to announce the 4th annual NorCal Session Fest on May 21st from 1 to 5 p.m. in Jack London Square. Come hang with over 35 craft breweries as they once again prove that big flavor doesn't have to come from strong beer. And all beer at the event will be under 5% ABV. Enjoy selections of beautifully crafted, full-flavored, and super refreshing session beers while helping to support Bike East Bay's mission of bringing better, safer biking to the East Bay community. There'll be food, a free bike valet, and live music that will set the soundtrack for your session beer drinking good times. Tickets are just $30 and include a commemorative glass and 10 beer tasting tickets. Mark your calendars for May 21st and visit drinkdrakes.com for more information.
A few things happened 30 years ago.
ARPANET migrated to TCP/IP, and the Internet was born. Revenge of the Jedi was renamed Return of the Jedi and opened in theaters. Mila Kunis and Emily Blunt were born, beginning a rad fantasy in my mind.
But all of that pales next to the fact that HopTech opened its doors and began blowing homebrewers right out of their mash tuns. HopTech doesn't fuck around. Real people shipping awesome shit straight to you. Their new website is fast and easy to navigate. Or just call 800-379-4677 and let badass bitch Jade and the gadget guy Roberto blow their warm load of customer service all over you. So visit the site or visit the store in Dublin, California, and support those that support you. Get your brewing on at hoptech.com. Last year, on the first Saturday in May, 11,000 participants brewed more than 19,000 gallons of beer. It's National Homebrew Day. This year, on May 7th, fellow homebrewers around the world will join in the global celebration of the greatest hobby there is, homebrewing. The American Homebrewers Association encourages you to be a part of this epic brew day. Go to homebrewersassociation.org and click on Big Brew, National Homebrew Day. There you'll find this year's official recipes for extract and all grain brewers. If you're going to host a public event, register it as well. The AHA provides promotional materials like posters, Zymatic magazine, and display signs. And don't forget to raise a glass at noon Central Time for a worldwide simultaneous toast to homebrewing. Big Brew on National Homebrew Day. Be a part of it this May 7th. Visit homebrewersassociation.org for more details. Tampa Bay has become a great destination for craft beer lovers with more than 60 breweries and counting, like Cigar City, Tampa Bay, and Coppertail Brewing. One of the newest breweries is Four Stacks Brewing Company in Apollo Beach. Four Stacks believes that the West Coast can't have all the fun, so while we feature West Coast beer like Stone, Ballast Point, and Green Flash on tap, we also brew hopped up ales to our liking in the West Coast style, even as they're truly Florida. Come in and see for yourself. Four Stacks hosts monthly homebrew club meetings, bottle shares, and partners with local restaurants for free food delivery while you enjoy your pint in their new tap room. Stop by Four Stacks Brewing and support the greater Tampa Bay craft beer scene at a brand new, community-oriented, independent brewery. Four Stacks Brewing, bringing the best of the West Coast style and attitude. Four Stacks Brewing Company in Apollo Beach, Florida. When I order a beer, I want my server to know more about it than I do. I want someone who enjoys good beer and loves helping others enjoy it too. I want someone who knows how to pour a perfect pint for every beer style. I want a Cicerone.
The Cicerone Certification Program is creating the type of people who help you enjoy great beer. Home brewers and craft beer lovers know beer is more flavorful and complex than ever, and it takes some serious knowledge to store and serve beer right. Cicerones know beer. There are 3 levels in the Cicerone program: Certified Beer Server, Certified Cicerone, and Master Cicerone. Cicerones are truly the sommeliers of beer. The best beer locations have a Certified Cicerone on staff. Relaxed and unpretentious. Cicerones are tested on storing and serving beer, beer styles, flavor and tasting, the brewing process and ingredients, and pairing food with beer. Learn more about your next beer guide at cicerone.org. Certified Cicerone, because it takes top talent to present a perfect pint.
You're listening to the Brewing Network. Because like beer, radio shouldn't suck.
All right, everyone. Thanks for sticking with us. Got a little bit of beer news here for you. And like I said, we'll do the Twitter game, and we'll get out of here. But first, you guys know about Beersmith. I just want to mention Beersmith real fast. Go to beersmith.com. 21-day free trial. If you want some free software that helps you make better beer, which is not a whole lot out there, let's be honest, go to beersmith.com. Again, while we're keeping it 100 here on the Brewing Network, more of you need to be using Beersmith.
I actually, when I was brewing on the Pico,
yes,
their calculations and stuff, I went back to Beersmith to
double check them,
and
keep them honest,
and keep it on, and make myself feel better that this is what I'm getting.
Well, that's good that you're able to use it for as a backup just to make sure.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, at the end of the day, there's someone making those numbers happen.
Okay, there's also a thing that I should be able to import my recipes.
I think you can. I think you can. I'll ask Andy.
Couldn't figure that one out.
Yeah. I'll ask Andy. I think you can do that, actually.
Oh, no, it says import.
I know they were talking about that when we were up there.
I would
They could
love
import it.
to...
I think you have to export in the Beersmith as a certain file.
Yeah.
Maybe a CSV or
so
something, and then it'll do it.
This is all new to me this whole weekend. So, but
This whole weekend thing.
I use no, it's been coming a couple of weeks, but
That's true. I did Schurz one time. That's the way I felt like that.
But I would really like to use Beersmith, formulate in there, and then import it into the PicoBrew.
I think you can, but I'll check on that, and I'll update you later.
It wasn't easy. I tried a couple times.
Yeah.
Got frustrated. Yeah.
Quit. Found something else to do. Yeah.
I read the manual again, basically. But once I was done, that was all good. But just being able to that recipe formulation, and put it in there,
Awesome.
It worked. It worked awesome.
Okay, great. All right, let's do some beer news real fast. There's a couple cool stories. Now more than ever, a beer slogan comes to life. Hooray, beer! The rallying cry of Red Stripe echoes loudly through the halls of justice as the brewery valiantly fought off beer's most recent false advertising lawsuit. This is the guy's real name, Dumas. Or Dumbass, as I'm going to call him. D-U-M-A-S. Versus Diageo, which are the importers of Red Stripe. And I want to say that they're the brewers also, but I didn't really.
Dumbass is the brewer?
Diageo. Dumbass is the the guy who's suing people. The sewer. Yeah.
Okay.
He's the offended customer or something?
Yes.
The
plaintiff.
Dumas via Diageo, the importers of Red Stripe, contend that the beer's marketing tricked consumers into believing that the beer is brewed in Jamaica from Jamaican ingredients. When in point of fact, it's actually brewed right here in the good old U.S. of A, Pennsylvania. To
that
be
would
exact.
be rum if it was in Jamaica.
So many other beers would have that same issue.
Well, that's the point. And so, like, the Blue Moon issue, and we have, what's the latest one? I reported a couple weeks ago.
Well,
there's another one, class action, saying that this is not
Heineken,
actually brewed
right?
here.
No?
Heineken, maybe?
Oh, yeah, which one was that?
I forget now.
I know, I mean, like, this Dumbass is probably going to be, wait, Kona's not made in Hawaii? It's brewed in the Pacific Northwest? What?
Yeah, I know. It's pretty... here, we got a message here in the chat room, Doc. He says, this guy, Timothy, says, yeah, you can import from Beersmith to Pico. I had to import to my new computer, and there's a tutorial, I guess. So it's out there in the universe.
Oh, that thing I didn't want to read? And
Yeah.
It does require reading.
Central to the plaintiff's argument, which is dumbass, was the description of the beer, which Diego calls a, quote, Jamaican-style lager.
Style.
Okay.
And that it contains, quote, the taste of Jamaica.
That's still
What is that?
So they're very ambiguous. Right.
They said it was made in Jamaica.
A judge dismissed the case, concluding that, quote, no reasonable consumer would be misled or misled into thinking that Red Stripe is made in Jamaica with Jamaican ingredients based on the wording of the packaging and labeling.
Unless you're a dumbass.
You're a dumbass. Right?
Well, I mean, he probably thinks that all French toast and French fries are made in France.
He might.
Poor guy.
all these surprises that are right around the corner for him.
Across the beer.
Man, I thought that was amazing.
We should start a Kickstarter for that guy.
To get him
I feel sorry for him.
To get him a lobotomy?
Something, a frontal lobe,
This guy should not be purchasing things. I just don't understand.
How can we make him stop?
He brought his case under several California statutes and also alleged negligent and intentional misrepresentation.
Well, and the lawyer who's representing this guy
should be
disbarred.
Yeah.
Somebody's butt hurt.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's getting paid. What's he?
So
he's going to get paid
or
if essentially there's a settlement.
Or something, yeah.
Oh, well, I wouldn't take it.
I don't think the lawyer would do this for pro bono.
No, maybe not. I don't know.
I would do that. Okay, you pay me. I'll try it. Think you can do it?
I'll throw spaghetti at the wall.
Yeah.
You do anyway.
I do anyway, yeah, in my off times. The judge says more specifically why he threw the case. He dismissed the case. He says the mere fact that the words Jamaica and Jamaican appear on the packaging does not support a conclusion that consumers would be confused about the origin and ingredients of the beer. The statements on Red Stripe were similar to those made with respect to a Swiss Army knife, just as the word Swiss modified army. In this case, Jamaican modifies style and does not connotate the actual place of production. Red Stripe's display of the words Jamaican style and similar claims are similar to Blue Moon, making a Belgian-style wheat ale, and Harpoon, making a Belgian-style pale ale. The words taste of Jamaica is too vague and meaningless to form the basis of a false advertising claim. Beck's was the other one.
Oh, that's right. That's who it was.
Red Stripe presents different facts from the facts that gave rise to the false advertising case involving Beck's, where the labeling and packaging stated originating in Germany.
Yeah, that looks German.
Brewed under the German purity law. And it was the Belgian, not Leffe. Was it Leffe?
Oh, it was Leffe.
Yeah, where people thought it was brewed in an abbey because there's a picture of an abbey.
Right, yeah.
Anyway. Yeah.
Wow.
So there you go.
So the words
justice was served.
Hooray, beer.
So the words matter, basically, is what the judge is saying.
Yes.
But if you only read every other word, then you obviously have to file a lawsuit.
It's not the brewery's fault.
No.
It's not the brewery's fault. No, you're a dumbass.
Yeah.
Gluten-free is all the rage, and that rage is, of course, being transferred to the beer industry with an increasing demand for beer sans gluten. Now, an Aussie maltster has developed the world's first gluten-free barley called Kebari. Kebari. Gluten-free foods are one of the world's fastest-growing consumer trends, with sales expected to grow over 10% a year until 2020, which will make that market segment worth around $7.5 billion. With a B. While the new gluten-free Kebari barley actually contains minute amounts of gluten, the CSIRO, which is Australia's Commonwealth Scientific and Industrial Research Organization, said it has 10,000 times less gluten than traditional strains, or about 5 parts of gluten per million, which is below the 20 parts per million for classification by the World Health Organization as a gluten-free grain.
Would that pass in the U.S.?
Yeah.
So that would pass as gluten-free in the U.S. also?
I think part of the problem is a lot of people are using the World Health Organization's classification as gluten-free, but I don't think that there's a solid consensus on what gluten-free should be in the States.
Oh, there's not?
I think. I don't know.
No, it's 20. 20.
Is it 20?
So we're just adopting
Under 20?
that? Yeah. Okay, yeah. Okay. Kebari barley is not a product of genetically modified farming. Oh, my God. Everyone panic.
Thank God.
Yeah, geez. But a decade's program of breeding out the gluten by cross-breeding low-gluten barley varieties. That is a fucked up sentence.
Wow.
And in case you doubt the demand for such a malt, more than 70 tons has already been sold to European brewer Rhinegeist.
But does it taste good?
Yeah. I don't know.
That's what I'd want to do a side-by-side.
What's the protein?
I don't know. Good questions.
Any
All
sugars
good
in
questions.
there?
All great questions. I imagine, if Rhinegeist, which is a giant European brewer, and this
how much did they buy?
70 tons.
That's a lot of tons.
It's a lot of
metric tons or U.S. tons?
I would guess metric because it's an Australian thing.
I guess, it's all metric
I imagine
there.
you got to order big quantities since it's being
If you could say tons.
Whatever.
Tons.
It's still tons.
We'll find out.
Tons
of tons.
Right.
I assume the maltster did some tests and stuff, right?
I would guess. If it's fit to market and to use in brewing, it would have to taste good.
Well, yeah, but people sell sorghum to brewers, and that doesn't really make good gluten-free beer. Sorry to all those sorghum
but it makes gluten-free beer.
It does. Well, right.
Yeah.
That's my
I
point.
just wonder if you select
they'll
out,
sell it. It doesn't have to taste good.
I don't know.
If you select out the gluten, or are you selecting out something else at the same
Right,
time?
yeah, you're losing
Probably.
other proteins that actually
might
helps
make a difference.
Yeah,
For sure.
And starches.
Yeah. Well, we'll find out.
Yeah.
We'll find out, fellas. I don't have the answers to these questions. I'm sorry.
Why not?
Why not?
Yeah, well, it's good food for thought.
What the fuck is wrong with you,
Can we
JP?
think? Not really.
A lot.
Yeah. Just get us some of that beer whenever.
We don't have time to think about it.
Hey, what else is in the news? That's what I want
This
to
is
know.
the last break. We don't have time to get into that.
New York is about to slowly crawl into the 21st century with regards to alcohol sales. Something called the Alcohol Beverage Control Law Group presented New York Governor Andrew Cuomo with several suggestions on modernizing the state's liquor laws, some dating back to the end of Prohibition. On the top of the list, allowing booze to be sold on Sunday mornings, which is still illegal, apparently, in a lot of places.
Yeah.
A lot of part of this.
just Sunday morning?
Oh, yeah, Bloody
In Minnesota,
Marys or
it's Sunday
mimosas?
the entire
this
day.
is just New York.
In Minnesota, it's the entire day. But in New York, just Sunday morning, so Sunday afternoon, you could
go
buy alcohol?
Yes. Which is relatively new. The panel noted that the state previously loosened the restrictions on Sunday sales at packaged liquor stores and for beer sales at grocery stores. Liquor stores were allowed to open on Sundays starting in 2003, so previous to that, they weren't allowed to do that at all. The hours that grocers can sell beer were expanded in 2006. That change moved the prohibited hours from between 3 a.m. and noon to between 3 a.m. and 8 a.m. Now, don't the bars stay open till 4 in fucking New York? So you can leave the bar and you keep the party raging.
By going by the store and getting
By
more
going
beer.
by the store and getting more beer.
yeah.
That's amazing.
Well, if they being an hour off, that's a good idea.
Well,
that's what I'm thinking.
If you dose just right.
If you plan ahead.
If you plan ahead,
If you're a real player, you got that covered.
Oh, yeah.
You got a bunch of beer wherever you're
It's all
going already.
timing.
Yeah. Apparently, a lot of these places are affected. Sports bars and shit like that really want this for like overseas games or international games.
Oh, yeah, they start at 9 o'clock or something.
Yeah,
Or
where
6 in
people
the
are
morning
like watching soccer like 8:30 and they're drinking soda pop until noon, and that's just whatever. So
that makes sense.
Among some of the other changes, the Alcohol Beverage Control Law Group presented to Governor Cuomo was authorizing wineries to allow customers to take home partially finished bottles of wine. And letting wineries sell wine in refillable growlers. That'd be kind of cool. A growler of wine.
I think a growler.
Do other states allow partially consumed wine to be taken?
Question.
Because that's open container in a lot of other places.
Yep.
I don't know.
In a lot of other places. I think.
Yeah. Maybe if you cork it and like put some seal on it.
I guess they wax dip.
Yeah.
Yeah, they may cork it right there for you and like put put the shrink sleeve on or something like that.
Put a little plastic cover over there.
Yeah.
They're also talking about doing a bunch of other weird shit like consolidating the types of licenses. Apparently, the state has 9 types of liquor licenses.
Only 9?
Yeah.
I don't know. California might have that many.
Scattered
California
through
has like
3
almost
articles
100.
of the Alcohol Beverage Control Law. So there's just a ton. Anyway, it would reduce the number to 3. You have a 1 license for beer, a second for wine and beer, and a third for establishments that served beer, wine, and liquor.
Hey, simpler is better.
Yeah, and just apparently there's a backlog of anyway, a bunch of cool shit happening in New York if you sell booze or
Good for them.
if you get hella drunk.
Onward and upward.
Yeah. Last but not least, something that weighs heavily on my heart, and it's not cholesterol.
Prince is dead.
Darlings of the Belgian-style beer world and staunch defenders of the anti-IPA movement, Monkish, down in Torrance, have thumbed their noses at their own values and have started brewing IPAs.
I feel like I don't know them anymore.
Oh, my fucking God.
You remember
Really?
Monkish? They
Yeah,
came
Henry
in
and
here-
Brian.
Yeah, right.
Henry and Brian were right here.
Yeah,
IPAs, Doc.
We will not do IPAs because everybody else
That's
has
what they
to
said.
have an IPA.
Everybody said that.
That's
Yeah.
what
They had
they
a
said.
sign in their tasting room.
In a lengthy blog post, the fellows at Monkish explained this shift as something that was always in their business plan to do. However, they did not have the hops necessary to brew great tasting IPAs when they first opened, so they shifted their focus to Belgian-style beers.
Oh, I see. So they never said they'd claim to not make an IPA.
They did, but I think they're changing it now.
Well,
that
they
they're
didn't
making,
say they said it
now
was
that
in their
they're
business
brewing-
plan. That means they were lying, weren't they?
If
We're
they're
lying.
Someone was lying.
Yeah.
One or the other.
Whatever.
My thoughts
Yes.
is they should kind of do the planning thing.
Yeah.
We only have so much. Bam, bam, bam. You come between this time and this time,
Yeah.
and
you got it.
and you get it.
Stagger the release.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think that's what they're doing. You may remember from their interview last year and the video we made when we crashed their place, the infamous no IPA sign, the words
Yeah,
the
right.
letters
Yeah,
IPA,
yeah, yeah,
I didn't see
circle
that.
front.
Ooh, I didn't see
Well, they pulled that down about 6 months ago.
And they burned it.
And they burned
Maybe they should have eaten it.
While it started as a joke in the brewery as an explanation to customers as to why they don't make IPAs, that clearly no longer fits their current beer lineup. But wait, there's more outrage to this story. Not only are Monkish starting up an IPA program, as they call it, but they are bringing what can only be described as the worst trend in beer to the West Coast. The New England IPA.
Well,
yes, all of the newly minted beers at Monkish are gravy IPA, that cloudy, milky effect that we have broken down on this show before, leaving a bad taste in many listeners' minds, much like those yeast and hop particles do in the beer.
Well, at least they're making an IPA that will not sell.
I know.
So then they'll still get to focus on their saisons and all the
They'll be able to
business
say
stuff.
we were right in the
Who's
first
JP voting for? We know.
Yeah.
These yeast and hop cultures are being canned and only sold across the bar at the brewery. So if you want to if you want to drink slurry, go to the brewery. It really disappointed me. I was really kind of pissed off at that.
They would only serve those beers.
Have a homebrew friend.
Draft.
A homebrew
Right.
friend.
Well, you
exactly.
control the freshness
Right.
because there's a lot of stealing agents.
And in my mind, draft at the tasting room, and that's it.
Yeah.
You can't even distribute those beers in my mind.
No, you can't.
Maybe in small containers, like 6 months.
Yes.
If you're self-distributing,
Yeah.
But I wouldn't even trust it to a distributor
Oh, no,
that
no.
it's going to go sit in their warehouse for a month. Yeah.
Yes, Doc.
I get you there.
What are you doing?
Small Nicaraguans.
Does that mean something?
What does that mean?
Okay, it's about distributorship. Yeah, like
Small Nicaraguans?
Yeah.
You would trust small Nicaraguans?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
To do what?
Distribute his beer.
To shock. Everyone, Doc has lost his mind.
Oh, yeah.
You have a stroke.
Sit down.
Yeah.
A death pool.
Death pool. Oh.
I don't know what's happening.
The
that's
synapses are
great
breaking
news.
down.
That's beer news.
Hey,
Oh, that's it?
Yeah.
That's beer news.
Roll
That's
the
it.
outro.
Way to end on a down note.
I don't even have any
You've
intro.
lost control.
Have to the Nicaraguans?
Okay, let's whip it back into.
Let's drink
Oh,
that
here we
barley
go.
wine they left here.
No,
Let's chug that barley wine.
Twitter
Anyone write it
game.
down?
Let's talk about the
Twitter game.
Okay, let's talk about it.
All right. What was the Twitter game again? please?
The Twitter game,
Which was brought to you by Beer Law Center. Go to beerlawcenter.com for all of your trademark and copyright needs.
Yes, it was. The Twitter game was, how will the world mourn the passing of us?
That's true.
Wow.
The passing of
That
the
is
brewcasters.
true. That is what the Twitter game was.
And you were saying in the break that this is probably...
I think the response
greatest.
is, yeah, this is my best Twitter game.
Okay.
Because I think
let's just
they're
see
the
about
funniest
that.
answers,
Is
and
this
it also is like, these people get us. I
This
think.
is all at once.
Well, we don't
All
pretend to
at
be anybody
once.
else but ourselves
Yeah,
here.
Right.
Or worse than not all at once. Where we just
Or
we're-
worse than not all
We're
at
getting
once.
like ticked off
The list.
all during the year.
We're on some tiny Nicaraguan
Yeah, it's like
list.
January, February, April.
Yeah.
Oh well,
March was a good month for us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And then we're just somebody's gonna say, "Don't do it anymore."
I can't imagine anyone saying that after listening to our show.
really-
Go ahead, Warren. What kind of answers?
Especially
did you
when
get?
Yeah,
Wow.
I'm looking here.
All right.
All right. You're writing this down? You're good.
All right. Nelson says, like the passing of a Monday morning bowel... Oh, sorry.
Write it
I'm
down,
not
JP.
starting at the beginning. That was the issue. Nelson was way in the
Oh,
middle.
so bowel movement.
You know,
Yeah.
I just,
would have been better at the beginning.
From one pro to another.
I should have kept going.
I find that it helps if you start from the beginning of a sentence when you read it. Just roll them out there.
Roll with it.
Well, no, I wasn't starting at the beginning of the Twitter list. Nelson was down in the
I
middle.
would do that also. That's my second
yeah.
tip.
Right.
Yeah.
So I scrolled up now. I'm at the beginning.
Do it,
Blame,
baby.
blame the Twitter.
Blame the
All right.
Twitter.
Doug W. starts us off with, pour a porter on the carpet.
Okay.
Oh, I like that.
All
I like that.
Frank Harris says, I would say brewing, but let's be realistic.
Who's got time for that?
True.
No,
I know.
we don't do that anymore.
Keith says, oddly, listen to a lot of Prince albums.
Oh.
It's not that odd.
Is it?
No.
Okay.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Sugar Valley Brewer says,
Wow.
yeah, right?
Where's he
tweeted,
been?
I don't know, on Twitter.
Christ.
He says, they were mostly a bunch of no-talent hacks, but damn if Bevo didn't have a mighty fine ass.
That's number one on my list.
Right.
Sugar Valley
Yeah.
Brewer.
Okay.
Do you need to continue?
Any chance to say that?
If you could just say mighty fine ass one more time, and then I'll be fine with it all.
Yeah. Sugar, we need more songs from you, dude.
Right.
Come on, stop.
Oh
it.
wait, what did Sugar Valley say?
Which time?
Could you say it one more?
Wacka wacka?
No, repeat it one more time.
Oh, you want his tweet?
Oh yeah.
What do you say?
They were mostly a bunch of no-talent hacks, but damn if that Bevo didn't have a mighty fine ass.
When it kind of rhymes.
Oh yeah,
at that
it's
guy.
good.
Very poetic. I think
Ass
he has a new
and
song.
Hacks
you know-
and ass?
Yeah. Sure,
Yes.
kind of.
She didn't cringe so
You
much.
could say worse. He has said worse.
Yeah, that's right.
All
That's
right,
just the
continue,
chorus.
please,
That's just the
Warren.
chorus.
Scotty B says, with tasty cookies, sessionable beer, and a month-long orgy of debauchery and decadence.
Huh, sounds like my will and testament. That's what either I've got outlined the party, and there would be cookies for sure.
Right.
Oh, man.
Ben the Brewer says, spreading their ashes over the course of a beer mile, and then lighting an eternal flame fueled by the BN bunker fumes.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh,
man, that was
that's nice.
Right.
Does that fit in 256 characters? Or?
He did it in one tweet.
Nice work, Ben.
Yeah.
All right, what's next?
Chris Makes Beer says, a beer-soaked grieve job while listening to Journey.
Ooh.
Chris.
While listening to Journey, I feel like that.
Yeah.
Just not listening to Toto.
He gets us. Larry says, well, since we will only miss Bevo and Tasty, get baked and go to Disneyland.
Sounds amazing.
That was Tony?
Although I've never been baked, but it does sound amazing.
Larry.
What? Really?
You should do it baked.
Imagine being baked and at Disneyland. Conrad says, the world would sound a lot like the crowd at NHC during the reading of the Homebrew Club of the Year.
That's good.
I don't know if they're booing for us
standing
being
ovation.
dead or if they're booing one last time.
Well, I think it's a mix between cheers and boo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's kind of yay the boo and boo the yay.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Nelson says, like the passing of a Monday morning bowel movement, crying and sweating over the bittersweet release of too many bad decisions.
That's nasty. Okay.
Yeah.
That'd be a big.
So now we know what his Monday morning bowel movements are like.
Right.
Lloyd says, a memorial will be constructed of burning camper parts, nutters, deck shoes, and empty growlers.
The smell of burning nutters.
Lloyd.
Okay, that was pretty good. I'll give you that.
I mean, those are all things that we like.
Burning.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Sum it up. Burning. Yeah. Sean says, Brewcasters who?
Fair.
Oh. Yeah, which is fair.
Fair. Super fair.
Yeah.
Probably the fairest.
Of them all.
Some would say. Ricky says, all would place their brewing equipment on a raft and torch it with a flaming arrow as it floats it to eternity.
Viking style.
You're right, yeah. We get a Viking burial.
All right.
Paul says...
If one of us could hit the fucking raft.
Yeah, first you got to practice archery.
Yeah, well, if Warren's the only one left, we're fucked.
That's true.
Oh, that thing's never lighting.
No.
He's going to shoot the wrong direction.
Warren would figure out some math equation to figure out exactly where to shoot it so that it would work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it would work. Paul said, they passed? I'm still catching up on the archives.
That's pretty good, too.
That's funny.
It is good. Timothy said, by moving out of their parents' basement and getting a job finally. Mark says...
That's not funny.
Right. You don't ever need to get a job.
Right.
Listeners. Mark says, with a wake full of stolen beers from Moscow's tax fridge and hitting on Beardy's widow.
All right.
Right.
Ow.
It's all right. She wants a kid, so be ready for it.
Yeah.
Another Mike says,
wow.
By complaining that the stream is down.
That would happen.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. How come there aren't any shows?
Who said that?
Update the
Mike.
calendar.
Oh, there's a lot of people who said that.
Patrick said, I would pour a hazy, juicy New England IPA over JP's dead body and then brew one in his honor.
Fuck him. He loses no matter what.
No
matter what happens.
No matter what, he's the loser.
Yes.
Eric, the last one, says, hold the world's largest drunk of the week contest.
Who said that?
Eric.
Eric.
Good.
Merrick.
Okay. Is that it?
That's it.
That's a lot.
We got a lot. I think we
Great
got
participation.
Yeah, great participation, and there are some pretty good ones in there.
Yeah.
Oh, they all want us dead.
But at least they'll know what to
At least
do.
it's something they
They'll
can-
know what to do when we're dead.
Yeah.
Mostly Bevo.
They'll get them thinking about it, you know?
Yeah.
See?
Yeah, well, I like the Sugar Valley because I hadn't heard from him in a while, and it was appropriate.
Yeah.
True.
It was appropriate for it to be about
Super appropriate.
I mean,
So, okay,
But
I'll go through
otherwise-
them real fast.
Yeah, what did you like?
I'll go through them real fast. So
Okay,
I
what's
wrote
the-
down Sugar Valley Brewer with the butt comment.
Yeah.
Ben said something about ashes and the fumes from the bunker, the eternal flame or whatever the hell it was. Chris said a beer-soaked grieve job while listening to Journey. Larry said get baked and go to Disneyland. Lloyd said something about burning. I don't know what he said. Well, burning a pyre of like growlers and shit.
Yeah, growlers, nutters.
All right.
Deck shoes.
Paul said something about he's still in the archives. That's what it was. So he doesn't know where
like
Yeah,
that.
they died?
That was funny. That was
That's
good
pretty
comedy
funny.
right in
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Mike said by complaining the stream was down, and Eric said by holding the world's largest Drunk of the Week contest. So what do you think? Are we still at Sugar Valley?
I like Archive too, but
Yeah. I mean, I like the Grieve Job and Journey. I think those two things would go well together.
Yeah.
Well, I think people are going to know the Journey reference.
Yeah, I think so.
Most people, unless they're in the archive.
Let's all look.
I guess
look towards the drum hat.
I know we've a tribute here.
Well, let's take Larry out because no one really liked Larry except for Bev, and she doesn't count.
She just doesn't want Sugar Valley to win.
Right. Yeah.
What about Burning of the Nutters? You want to take that one out?
Oh
too?
no, I like. Okay, I'm voting for that one.
You're voting for that one?
Because
really,
Doc is okay. So
Doc has a lot of nutters to contribute.
Nutters,
right? Doc has a lot to feed that flame.
Yeah,
Nutters.
That will be the eternal flame.
What about complaining the stream is down? You want to take that one out?
I like that one.
Well, you can't like them all.
Well, how many are we at?
We got to get down to 1.
4, 5, 6, 7. We're at 7.
Wow. Okay.
We're talking about taking them out.
We're talking about taking them out.
Right.
It's not going to win. Take it out.
It's not okay. Evo said
stream down. Done.
Stream down.
Good one though. Very good. You guys are all great
that one
today.
was a good one.
Let's see. Ashes in the bunker fumes or whatever. I like that one too. That's fine. How about Paul?
I think the stream down was better than that one.
I'm going to take out Paul in the archives. I'm going to do that. I'm going to take out Eric's Drunk of the Week thing. I like them. I think they were all good.
Yeah.
But they're not going to win. So we have Sugar Valley Brewer with the butt, Ben, Ashes in the Bunker, Chris, A Grieve Job, and Lloyd, Burning Things, which Doc has voted for already.
Yep.
Fine. I vote for Trump.
For what?
Done right. For Sugar Valley Brewer.
Sugar Valley Brewer. That's tasty.
Anybody else?
What about you?
It's all going in.
Sugar Valley Brewer? Who are you voting for?
Okay, what's the next choice?
The Journey one.
Journey? One for Journey?
Journey, that's
Grieve
right.
Job and some listening to Journey.
Bev?
I'm going to vote for Sugar Valley Brewer.
Whoa! Well, it was a compliment in a lot of ways.
It wasn't degrading at all. I did have a really nice butt.
Well, now you know what
You
she
did.
likes.
She gone.
What happened to it?
You're still alive.
This place started serving cheese platters?
No.
What happened to that?
Yeah, I don't know.
What happened to that?
God.
The cheese platter?
The same thing that happened to your marriage. It died.
Oh. Crash and burn.
Too soon.
Ouchie, ouchie.
Much like your butt, that comment was too low. Too low.
Oh, that was mean.
Now we're letting her hang out here.
Well, frankly,
we're letting it all hang out.
Yeah. Sure. So it's 2 votes for the same thing.
Right.
Sugar
I'll go Sugar Valley.
Oh, then
All right.
it's over.
Sugar Valley Brewer.
Yeah.
Good job, Sugar.
Yeah.
Give us some more songs, bruh.
Sugar, sugar, sugar.
Give us some more songs, man.
How about that? Yeah, that title.
Give me them titles, baby. Okay, we're going to get out of here, Doc.
Evo's butt.
Really?
Yeah, really.
I really don't think so.
I really do. We're going to leave. But first, listen to a bunch of shows, man. We're going to do not one set of recording dates, but 2 recording dates of Dr. Homebrew. I almost said Sugar Valley Brewer.
Yeah.
Of Dr. Homebrew on May 5th and May 19th. So if you like listening to Dr. Homebrew live, and who doesn't?
We're there.
Tune in, baby. All right, Warren, are you ready, my friend?
No, but let's do it.
All right, here we go. Thanks for tuning in, everybody.
Yeah.
Thank you to our show sponsor, More Beer. You can get absolutely everything you need to make great beer at home by going to morebeer.com. Jim Matt from Rhinegeist was here and shared some great stories, information, and flyover country beer. Merge your love of Disneyland with your lack of engaging podcasts by going to earsuppodcast.com as JP, Terrence, Bevo, and Taryn talk about all things Disney. Go check out Moscow's Hop cartoons over at hoplifestore.com. Get on Twitter for some good beer insight and homebrew info. Follow Nate Smith at Nathan Homebrew and Mike McDowell at Tasty McD. And Warren is adding to the noise over at Another Beardy. Today's show was produced by Bevo, and your host was JP. Be sure to follow the Brewing Network on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
JP's an asshole. Justin's a nice guy and winning the race. JP does great as his charity.